Urban, ethical, authentic, sports, entertainment, something for the old, something for the new, something for everybody in between. We leave nothing untouched. We are Spoon 107.5 FM. From the top of Wologisi to the beaches of Maryland, we cover Liberia like nobody else does. This is Spoon 107.5 FM.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South, man. On the beat. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of action. Spoon, Spoon, gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you ain't know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Every Ikeban, Regina, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a nose of the to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, my Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon. Balaba. Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment. Go to there. Go to there. On the spoon to be a special information. On the spoon to be a special spoon, yes, that's a party there. Spoon station. Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South, man. On the beat. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of action. Spoon television. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you ain't know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon.
You want to get a news update, my brother, don't just spoon. You want to know what is happening, my brother, don't just spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't just spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, don't just spoon. Yeah, don't just spoon. Yeah, don't just spoon. You provide them, Maryland, don't just spoon. Yeah, don't just spoon. Every income on regular, my brother, don't just spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, don't just spoon. Yeah, don't just spoon. You want to get a news update, don't just spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, everybody. TV. Yes, everybody. TV. Entertainment.
24 minutes up to 8 p.m. here in Liberia. It is the 8th day of March 2026. Hope you had for yourselves a wonderful Sunday. Those of you who did go to church, how was church service? Talking about church, we saw, a fight in the branch of Winners Chapel there in Wese Fiama. Usually the perception of churches, you go there, it's a peaceful place. People go and worship, people go and fellowship, people go and interact with their friends and their loved ones. And it's a gathering of the brethren, and it should be a lovely gathering as well. But the one we go see people throwing with tea, throwing chairs at each other, fighting, all that kind of, we're no church to be boxing ground or wrestling ring or anything of that sort. But yeah, they need to get that stuff under control. A lot of stories we're hearing about why there was the fight today at the Winners Chapel branch in Fiama. But I'm sure that's not the image, the Winners Chapel, neither the church body of Liberia want to portray. Now, when you go to church now, you either have to wear some kind of ballistic helmet, or you wear your 24 inches steel plate vest back and front. You wear that total thing that the riot police can wear. You go to church because you have to be protecting your head from flying chairs and punches and all that stuff. So I hope they settle that. That wasn't a good image. But Vera SW Wallace, how was your church service? Was there fighting, scuffle, WWE, Royal Rumble? It was a peaceful service. It all started from this the whole fighting bit of recent started with the whole Global Methodist, United Methodist thing. We saw a lot of fight, blocking the church and all that kind of stuff. But interestingly, one of the insiders said that reportedly that's not the first time, they had a fight in that particular church, that particular branch. And the last time it was between a pastor and the choir director and another woman. There was serious police presence and all that kind of stuff. Look, man, where content can happen anywhere these days. Yeah, content can occur anywhere. But I threw the chair to not a chair on the woman. It was a bad sight. It was really, really bad. But welcome to you, wherever it is you're watching us from. Those of you following us via various online platforms. Beatrice T. Pupo. Did you have a good service, or there was some kind of buzzing happening at the church there as well? Bohuman Emmanuel Lehman is watching us from District 15, Monserrado County. David Colley is watching us live for 24th Street. We will be playing guests to, several esteemed individuals. Tonight, they will be talking about this whole proposal, this conversation that has been reopened about former President, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. about citizenship in Liberia and the clause of Article 27B that talks about people of Negro backgrounds can be granted citizenship, and those of non-Negro backgrounds, cannot be granted citizenship. So, talking about amending that, the conversations leading to amending that to allow for those who are of non-Negro background to be granted citizenship. They will be giving their views on that particular conversation, and the former CEO, host of this program, will join us, as well as other panelists will be joining us live on the program. We'll go to the phone lines for a bit until it's 8 p.m. here in Liberia, so that means we've got 20 minutes to go to the phone lines. But these are the highlights from last night's show. We had John P. Talu, the proposer or incoming political leader of the soon-to-be established, I said it, he's the proposed standard bearer, political leader of a soon-to-be or a proposed political party known as the National Freedom Movement of Liberia. They say, look, rescue train, no, theirs is freedom train. And these are some of the things he had to say last night on the program, just as a recap, as a highlight of last night's program. So talking about 2029, the elections of 2029, this is what he had to say. So establishing this political movement, again, is an allegation, is for you now to have a seat at the table.
No.
So that when there is a second round, you can negotiate and get something for you and the few persons that you got behind you.
Diamond, this election that is coming, this 2029 election that is coming, there will be no second round.
You will win for a round.
Movement will win it from up front. We're not coming with second round. We are not forming a political. Let me tell you, Diamond.
Alu said 2029, well, so for our online viewers, we apologize for going off a bit. That was due to some network issues, but we're back up and running. I do see Councilman is in the background. I do see Alfred C. But let's go to the phone lines quickly until 8 p.m. So to the folks joining us as our guest tonight, we'll definitely take you on. But let's go to the phone lines quickly to hear from Liberians. 0777-771075, 0555-101075. Those are the numbers to call. Call in quick and let's hear from you. What's on your mind? In the meantime, this is what Mr. Talley had to say concerning political parties in Liberia. This is what he had to say.
Okay, Damo, for the National Freedom Movement, we believe that there are no political parties in Liberia. Whatever you have in Liberia is just a group of people who are using a political means of getting to state power to benefit themselves and not the people. So they are not considered. If you go by the actual definition, those are not political parties. We call them political monkeys. People who are jumping from party to party, rebranding themselves in order.
So there you have it. He didn't hold back. Let's go to the phone lines quickly, beginning with this person. He said there are no political parties in Liberia. In fact, they believe, as the Freedom Movement Party of Liberia, the Freedom Party of Liberia, that every other establishment claiming to be a political party are all political monkeys. Let's take this person here. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, sir. Let's hear you out quickly. 1 minute, please. What's on your mind?
Okay, thank you for the program. One of my mind is pretending I will not stand for thing I went on today. If people in the area just say we slave to them, they tell once they are meant to come to our church, you can't disrupt our whole.
What, you're a member of that church? You're a member of that church?
Yes.
Lay on us now. Lay off from us from your own perspective. What happened there?
They got the pastor for that church, for our church. That's the little man. He's not ready to run the church. He only came to collect our money as a librarian, the way they came our brother from Ghana. I mean, not ready. So we're taking the big people of Una Chapel. Let it take him from there.
When you say the men are ready, what you mean?
He will not be having service.
So when you say the men are ready, what you mean? What happened? Who brought the police and who are lifting our chair and all that kind of stuff? Lay off
the one who invited the police. He not supposed to call police. He get haircut on. He carry everything to his haircut.
So why did he call the police?
He brought own people on board. He said he's working with them. But at the end of the day, he's not willing to work with them. And they are signature to every document they will put out from the bench for the church run. Look at the people. He didn't want to put the people in the power. Then later on, he said, you know what, to work with the people because he don't want to do the right thing. And he forcing the people to sign certain documents. They said no. So he decided inviting the police. Why supposed to go to the headquarters? So that man.
So how the bossing ass started?
My man, we cannot want a man in our church. Our pastor will not want him taking headquarters. We not chapel headquarters. We want that man in our church.
So if the men continue to be there, y'all not have service. All right, so we lost the brother there. Let's take this next person here. Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Let's hear you. Pleasant night to you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, brother. This is David King, and I do join you for my very this evening. What is on my mind this evening has to do with the wave of harassment being carried out by the Liberia National Police, those especially the quote-unquote traffic management. You know, these guys, I don't really know where we're heading to in this country. With all of the experience that is there, Omen Bwanta had, I have thought we were coming to help the Liberian people. But to look at our Ministry of Transport, if you take it and give it to foreigners, not even Indian, but foreigners, and somebody who they say allegedly is a member of Hezbollah, Mohammed, the owner of traffic management. You take our database and give it like that. And it's not just Liberians, but I will see as to whether the American, the Israelis, the Europeans, to take their own database and give it to that so-called traffic management.
All right, sir.
These guys are not no help to us.
All right, sir.
It's funny. LRA don't have representation in that place. Where's the money going? Where
All
are
right.
they carrying this money?
Thank you, sir.
We are harassing people, chasing people.
Thank you. Let's take this next person. We have to allot time to other callers. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, you live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm really calling for the two community. Yeah, what I really want to say is that for that winner chapel thing that happened today. Oh, for the winner chapel, what really happened today is that, church is someone that people go, to have a peace of mind. Yeah. For that, what really happened, if the people having conflict, they share to settle it, in a way or in a manner that they don't have to be in the public. But they're bringing it to the public, and that's where people go to, to have comfort. They embarrass other people.
All right. Thank you.
For real. It's all a bit of that.
All right. 077771075 055101075. Let's take this next person quickly. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine. You live. Please go ahead.
It's fun. I'm calling from Cola Factory, Mauritius Farm.
You're welcome.
The issue about church business, I almost look at business. The foreigner will come and just form church and make business out of it, carry the branches all over, then they bring pastor, change pastor, and do what have you. You getting me? That's the same thing that happening to now as the same day to the mentally. You getting me? The more you generate money, the more you buy land and you bring your sister. And I'm going on with it. They're not going to win the chapel. That's Nigerian church. You getting me? So they bring a pastor, they change pastor from pastor because when the people are not really generating money, then they bring somebody that will come out to generate money and
okay.
Go business and almost look at business.
All right, brother.
Like, bro, because we believe, we just say we believe it will be what we are not doing a real thing about God.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
077771075 555101075 at 8 p.m. our time. We will take on our guests. We have Laha LCC is watching us. Roland W. To is watching us. J. Africano Nimland is following us from Plebo City there in Maryland County. George Woyen is following us from SD Cooper. Albert Kolako is watching us from somewhere in Liberia. Hello, your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm Jerry. Thank you for the topic on discussion tonight. What actually on my mind, like pertaining to winner chapel issue.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Hello.
Go ahead, you live.
Yeah, that pastor, I made that from Sierra Leone. We not get one here in our church. And I seen pastor they told from beginner. He damaged the church that in beginner. So they brought him out to waste to damage her. We begging winner chapel people. And they please say that man and carry you back Sierra Leone. They get all the winner chapel churches in Sierra Leone. Let him be able to control it. And still lead that broad system for all our brand.
But what in the men doing to your Liona want him? What in the men doing to your Liona want him?
The men are criminal.
How?
No one are criminal. The men are criminal.
How? What kind of criminal are the men committed?
The men are criminal.
All right. Thank you for calling. 077771075 0101075. Those are the numbers to call. We have approximately 7 minutes to take calls. Laura's Bo Hargett is following us from Burville. Gerard is watching us via YouTube from Sugar Hill in Kakata. Wilfred Dennis is watching us. Mohammed Banin Hadara is following us from Malaysia. Kindness Kendrick M. Kapi is watching us from Longi Airport in Sierra Leone. Tita Jackson, how are you doing? P.E. Sotale. And let's take this next person. Hello, your name and where you calling us from?
Good evening, Dam, and good evening, all listeners.
Pleasant night to you. What's going on?
Well, I was sitting here cool. This is Brother G. Lahasi, where they calling from PNC AV tomorrow. Damo, what really on my mind? I mean, these fake and lazy politicians who come in talking about we're waiting for 2029. What are they doing now? I mean, is it they cannot wait 2029 to put it into the chair. Look at what this Honorable Talu just said. I mean, he had nothing to offer.
But how you say the man got nothing to offer when he just said that 2029 his party will win first round victory?
And he said he had nothing to offer. You know what he said last night? What the soon talk? Now I think the only politician or opposition party that trying to do something with is maybe the CMC. But I think if Honorability can look on the other side, we all agree the problem in Liberia is what? Job. Youth empowerment.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, everybody agrees. This is the problem in Liberia now. To empower the youth and create jobs.
All right, man. Thank you.
So no, I cannot damn it. So I think this is going being bridges is fine. Why can't all empower the citizens really? So tomorrow they will stand on their own, and if they don't want you to say no, but you're waiting to not empower them. Time for election, you say I will give to that go good for me.
All right, brother.
I think all opposition, let us do a job. Let us empower the youth. That would be my thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 077771075 055101075. 4 minutes to take your calls. And then we'll transition to our guests and bring them on. We begin the conversation. The rest of the panelists will definitely join the program. Hello, your name and where you calling us from? Okay, we lost that caller there. Lucinin Toure is following us from Campley there in Nimba County. Ambassador Abraham that's Abraham B. Jala Jr. is watching us from somewhere in Upper Cardwell. Yeman T. Abu is following us from Maryland County. Lincoln Morris is following us from Rooster, Massachusetts. Hope you're doing great. Daniel Dude, how are you doing? Following us as always. Anthony Morias is following us from Benson Street here in Liberia. Dauda Jabate is following us from Ganta City and Nimba County, and I scroll further upward. I do see Sharon Caesar, Theo, the Oil of Grace is following us. Ella Dollison Donkin is watching us. Gamusu Musa Dixon Senior, Vera S.W. Wallace is watching us. Buku Harris, how are you? Mambu Momo, David Colley, Philip Tobe, Beatrice Tipla Pupo, Precious S. Pencils, if I got that right. Ruben S. Yinland, and the rest of the folks watching us tonight on the program. We'll take this next person. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
Good evening, Damo. This is Imam Ahmed, CKA, of the Republic of Liberia.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to inform all my motorcycle followers in Peace Island election over. Let everyone all unite and move our youth forward. And also some of our brothers from Lima County, the only good thing you can offer to our leader is to get full information about people. But someone who doing good, you can, tell the leader that the person is doing this thing in your name. My movement in this country is to create first for Jeremiah Malcolm, and I'm the VP friend for Jeremiah Malcolm.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. 077771075 555101075. We can squeeze in at least 2 callers, and then we'll transition to our guest tonight. 2 callers we can squeeze in. Valicia Washington is watching us. George Gonkwe is following us from Saclay, District 7. Hope you're doing great. Okay, so he's from Saclay, watching us from Louisville, Kentucky. All right, Lucinin Toure, yes, I did say hi to you. Oliver Ziali is watching us as well from Bound City there in Nimba County. Per Campbell, how are you doing, Per? Hope you're doing great. All right, so folks, that's it. We'll kickstart the conversation, and the rest of the panel will join us on the show. So I'm going to bring on our guests now. If they're ready, they can just give me thumbs up, and we can begin this particular conversation. So to you, the councilman, once you're ready, just give me a thumbs up, and I'll bring you on the program, as well as the rest of the guests in the background. You can just let us know. Emmanuel S. Wetty, please let me know when you're ready. You can switch on your camera. Alfred Sear, kindly switch on your camera so we can kickstart this conversation. It's 8 p.m. in Liberia. Let's now bring on our guests. All right, so Councilman, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Damo. How are you today?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm trying to bring on the other guys. Emmanuel Wetty, if you're ready, please come on. Alfred Sear, you have to switch on your camera so we can have this conversation. But Councilman, it's good to have you. How are you doing? What's up? What's up with you?
Well, I'm doing great. Today is our regional Democratic Party convention. I'm on the planning committee. Well, when I got word of this invitation, I opted out of the convention to be present here because I think this is a very important conversation that goes to the soul of our country, Liberia.
Okay, cool. Thank you again. Let me bring on Mr. Emmanuel S. Wetty. I think the virtual background is conflicting, but we can see how best you can sort that out. A pleasant day to you, sir. How are you? Mr. Wetty? All right, so I think he's having some issues there. Once it's settled, we can continue. Alfred, you have to switch on your camera. I cannot switch it on from this end. Only you can control that particular feature. So please turn on your camera and let's have this conversation. All right, so you can log out and log back on, and then we can start this conversation. So Councilman, you said today is your convention for the Democratic Party. But based on how important this conversation is, you opted to be here so we can kickstart the conversation, and the rest of your guys can join us as we proceed, as the rest of the panel will be joining us as well. Why are you here? Why are you here? And what is that very important conversation that you think we need to have? Mr. C, I can bring you on as well.
Thank you again. First of all, I want to welcome our listeners that are joining us from all over. And I want to begin with a disclaimer that I did not come to represent EULA, because EULA has a president who handles EULA's affairs. Though I also serve as first vice chairman of EULA, but I'm going to defer representing EULA to EULA's president or the chairman of the board of directors. Having said that, I want to welcome some of my American friends that are joining me here today to listen to this very important conversation. And the conversation we has to do with granting people of non-Negro descent citizenship to our country is vital to the soul of Liberia. And this is why I'm here, so that we can go into it. I would like to be very slow until I allow my colleagues to appear, Honorable Wetty, so that they can listen to my presentation on this aspect. But let me start the ball rolling by asking my fellow Liberians so that we can dive into the thought process of those free slaves and African Americans who founded the Republic of Liberia. What were they thinking about when they founded the country? What made them to insert into their country's constitution that only people of Negro descent can become citizens of this country? Why? And if we define the reasons, then we ask ourselves, are those reasons over? Have we overcome the reasons, the fears that were in them? Have we overcome those reasons? So this is how I want to start the conversation, and I will take a little pause on that.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Before I get to Mr. C, let me say hi to you, Dr. George. You don't use it on the show, but I feel I'm at liberty to use it. Mr. Emmanuel George, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Diamond. Good to see you. Good evening, Councilman, the Reverend James D. Barkley, and Mr. Sear. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Welcome as well. Mr. Sear, how are you? Welcome to the program. You care to introduce yourself to us as well, Councilman? I'll give you the opportunity too before we get in the conversation. Mr. Alfred Sear. Mr. Sear, are you with us? Mr. Sear. All right, I think he's having issues with his device. But let's bring on Mr. Wetty. Mr. Wetty, are you with us? Can you hear us? Mr. Wetty, can you hear us, sir? Okay, so I think both of them finding it difficult to hear us. Mr. C, can you hear us now? You want to go log out and log back on? All right, so I think we'll have to continue this conversation, the councilman. And so, Councilman Barkley, for those of us who are not, abreast with whom you are, you care to introduce yourself to us, the Liberian people, both home and abroad?
Thank you very much. My name is Reverend James Barkley. I live in Pleasantville, New Jersey, which is adjacent to Atlantic City. Most of the time, our city is overshadowed by Atlantic City because Atlantic City is the flag city in the region. I was born in Sano County. I lived most of my life in Nima County, working for LAMCO. I lived in Monrovia prior to the war. I stayed there up to the end of the war in 1991. We were some of the forces on the ground, civilians that helped to re-establish the city of Monrovia. I worked then at the City Hall, and I was responsible for cleaning the city. It was a great experience. I did that with UN funding because there was no money, there were no banks that were open, and I was at the City Hall. After that, I was persuaded to go to college. I went to University of Liberia. Upon graduation, I served as sales manager for ExxonMobil, and then I transitioned to the state. Here in America, I work with the community. I work in the real estate industry, but I'm involved in the community. I serve with the Fellowship of Churches in Atlantic City as secretary for that organization for 8 years. It's an organization that is observing its 100th anniversary this year. And that created a great platform for me, the first African to serve there. In my city, Pleasantville, I was first elected to the district school board, and I rose to the rank of vice president of the district school system. I'm introducing myself because what I do and what I live with is to work for the underprivileged, to speak for the voiceless. I earned my first graduate degree from Kampala University School of Public Service Leadership. And then when I started to head a church, serving as a counselor to most of my colleagues, my brothers and sisters, I had to go back to school. And I went to Rutgers University and earned another master's there in social work. So what I do is in me, it's what I learned to speak out where voice is missing. So I came here today with the passion of working with Liberia and Liberians. I served on EULA as the first vice chairman of the board of directors. And I joined EULA from the point that there was a conflict in EULA between Honorable Anthony Kessley and Mariah Seaton. That conflict could not be resolved. And I invited the entire team to Atlantic City on 2 occasions. We hosted them, we put them up in hotels to find resolution to the conflict. I mean, everybody, including the late Bagbala, the late Tom Homoyu, I invited everyone. Then I said to myself, I think EULA needs some help. And my philosophy has been that if we work with EULA and it's straightened up, Liberia can get straightened up. However, like I said, I didn't come to represent EULA today, but that's who I am. Now I'm a councilman serving my 2nd term in my city. I'm a prominent member on the Democratic Committee in my region. I'm a member of the planning committee of this year's convention, but when I told them I wasn't coming, they knew that it was an important event. So I'm here to share my views, my expertise with my fellow Liberians and to put forth my position on this matter.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Sia, can you hear us now? Mr. Alfred Sia, if you can hear us, kindly unmute your microphone from your end, and so that we can know that we have both video and audio from you. Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you all now.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Kindly
I'm on
introduce
now.
yourself
Are you hearing me?
for us as well. Please introduce yourself so that we can start this conversation, this all-important conversation. Who's Mr. Alfred C?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. Kindly introduce yourself.
My mic is. Are you?
We can hear you, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Alfred Sear is a Liberian. My name is Alfred Sear. I'm a Liberian, an advocate for dual citizenship. Hello?
Okay. Yes, sir. I think there is a delay. Yeah, you live. I think there is a delay from your end. I don't know what's.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. I think there is a delay with your device. We can hear you loud and clear, but I think there is a delay with your device.
Hello? My mic is. Are you hearing me?
We can hear you, sir. Are you hearing us? If you can hear us, we ask you to kindly introduce yourself so that we can press on with the conversation.
Are you hearing me?
All right, so Mr. C will have to come back so that we can have this conversation. Yes. So, Councilman, let's have this conversation, and the rest of your guys will join. I think they're having network connectivity issues, but let's have this conversation now. Former President Sirleaf visited the House of Representatives and made a statement that we need to look at and revisit Article 27B of the Constitution that speaks about citizenship. Who can be a citizen? And it says only persons who are Negroes or of Negro descent may qualify for Liberian citizenship, whether by birth or naturalization. So this clause was designed to preserve Liberian cultural identity and reflects the country's funding as a homeland for free black slaves. And you mentioned the fact that whether those reasons still exist. Now, do you think we should revisit Article 27B, sir? And if so, why?
Well, I'm one of those on the other side, just to inform the public. There's one guest that I didn't send a link to. His Honorable Wilton Kettle is my fault. So while I address your issue, let me just do him due diligence and make sure that he comes here, because he should have appeared. All right, I sent a link to him already. Yes, I'm one of those that feel that Liberia is not prepared to take that route. It is important, it's interesting to know that it sounds fine on the paper. It's just important to know that, look, it put us in par with Western practices. But I want to inform our people from this point, from several points. The first is when former President Sirleaf introduced this topic, she introduced it from the perspective that she is prepared. Her children are prepared. Her grandchildren are prepared, economically and financially, to compete with non-Negroes when they become citizens of our country. I come here today to represent my people in the village. My younger nephew that just came from college that has not found a job. If we introduce this amendment and it passes, can they withstand the challenge? Of course, it's on the paper. It may sound great as being a legal aspect, but let's look at the reality. Look, I made a list of people that are ready. Former President Sirleaf is ready. Former President is ready.
Councilman, we'll get into the details. I just want you to tell us whether you are for this amendment, this proposal of an amendment. It's not yet an amendment. It's just still talk of such. Are you for or against?
Against.
You're against amending Article 27B?
Yeah, especially to make non-Negro citizens.
Okay. Now the next question is why?
The reason is there is some privilege that non-Negroes come with. The affluence they enjoy. It has a tendency of re-enslaving our people on our own land.
Okay. Dr. George, where are you on this conversation? For or against amending 27B?
Well, I think after 178 years of independence, it's time to have to consider it. I mean, I'm here to listen to the guests, so I will join you to ask the question if you don't mind. But I think I agree with former President Ellen Johnson said if at a level, I would listen to what they have to say. I would ask them questions. I don't know if Mr. C is driving. He parked by the wayside, by the roadside. But I'm here to listen to them and ask questions.
Okay. Mr. C, are you parked by the roadside or are you driving? All right. So Mr. C still is not hearing us. Okay, you just sitting, right? You're not driving. All right. Mr. Wetty, you're welcome to the show.
No, I'm fine.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Kindly introduce yourself to us, the
That's
audience.
correct.
Okay, well, my name is Emmanuel S. Wetty. I'm commonly called Eminent Emmanuel S. Wetty. I'm an advocate for dual citizenship and other country voting.
Okay, it's a pleasure having you. Now, the first question is,
I can hear you.
You can hear me, right?
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Hello?
Mr. Wetty, we can hear you.
Hello?
All right. So I don't know what's going on with Mr. Wetty, but we can hear you. I've heard you having issues with your device. And if you're good, we can have this conversation. Now, to you, Councilman, since you've got the good network, why are you against amending Article 27?
I think Alfred was speaking.
I don't know. For some reason, you keep kicking me out. So maybe I can speak quickly before he kicks me out again.
Yeah. So
my name is Alfred Sear. My name is Alfred Sear. I'm a former chairman of the board of directors of the Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas. And currently, I'm a special envoy on the out-of-country voting. But I'm here in my capacity as a Liberian advocate for dual citizenship and not representing EULA. I just want to make that clear. The reason I'm here is because I'm against the amendment of Article 27B to grant non-Negro citizenship at this time.
Okay. Thank you. We hope your network remains good so that we can have this conversation. Now to you, Councilman, and then Dr. George.
And if you want me to give my reasons, I will go ahead and give my reasons now.
Yeah,
the issue of dual citizenship for natural-born Liberians is not a settled issue. Although the legislators have passed a legislation that grants us dual citizenship, it still has not been enshrined in the Constitution of Liberia.
All right, so his network is bad. I don't know what's the issue. All right, so to you, Councilman, now please tell us your reasons why you are against the amendment of Article 27B.
I have a simple reason for which I feel that it's not expedient at this time. The reasons for which it was placed in the Constitution in the first place, which is to protect those settlers, the reason still exists. The inequality that exists, which they are afraid of, it still exists. The dominance of non-Negroes in Liberia why they are not citizens. The problem is still glaring. So I don't see someone needs to convince me what we stand to gain. It would make them to be citizens as opposed to restoring the citizenship of our own sons and daughters that were born in Liberia and that live in foreign countries and that cannot enjoy their full rights as citizens. Someone needs to convince me.
Dr. Josh.
Yeah. So I think we're not the one convincing you, because you're already convinced. You're the one sort of convince us, councilman. Councilman, are you a citizen of these United States?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Councilman, the district that you are representing as a councilman, are you only representing people of Negro descent or Liberian descent?
No.
Okay. So if there was a constitution arrangement in the U.S. Constitution that says only a Caucasian, European Caucasian could be citizen of the United States of America, could you have obtained citizenship?
Can you repeat that question, please? You went a little bit low, I think.
If there was a clause in the U.S. Constitution that stated clearly that only those of European Caucasian lineage could be citizens of the USA, will you have obtained citizenship?
So I understand your question to be like, what is written in the U.S. law is what we are enjoying fully here. And I want to debunk
my question to you is this, if there was a clear law in the U.S. Constitution, article something that says only people of Caucasian or how they call it, or Indian American background could be citizen of the United States of America, could you, councilman, have become a citizen of the United States of America? I say yes or no question.
Absolutely no.
Okay. So if you left your country, you come to another person's country and you enjoy the benefits of it, why you don't want other people to go into your country and enjoy the benefits of your country?
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to go back to the way I wanted to answer. Maybe we live in two separate United States, you and I. But I want to tell you what is written on the paper in this country is not what is being practiced. If you are not aware, the war that is going on in America now is a war of regret for even making us to be citizens. So every action they are taking here is to reverse the decision they made in the past. So if the people themselves are regretting the decision, why are we picking it up at this time? They needed us. We are not their type to do some labor work. That's what they needed us for. But that will not apply to Liberia. It's not equal. They have advantage here. Look, let me tell you, there's some privilege that comes along with being a non-Negro. It's a privilege that comes along with it. And that privilege is the one they carry everywhere they go. And for those of us that are in the battlefront every day fighting in America here to sustain the right of semi-equality of Negroes in this country, we know what we are talking about. So this is why, in fact, we become more energized to stop it from going to Liberia, because Liberia, there will be no check.
You carrying the title councilman. It means you are an elected official, and you have this kind of concept in mind. How can you be an elected official that is representing people from different racial background, supporting a country that you're not a citizen of, or perhaps you have dual citizenship, supporting that to happen when you're in this country benefiting from laws that have been rewritten? And let me give you some clear demarcation history. Perhaps, I think you know this, or perhaps you're just trying to deny it. When the United States Constitution, the slaves were 1/5 of citizens. Our people of Negro descent was 1/5 of the citizens of this country. And over time, that rules were changed that made people of Negro descent to be citizens of this country, of the United States of America. So you came and you made a conscious decision to be a citizen of this country, a conscious decision. Then you made another conscious decision to represent the people of the council that you are representing. But yet, them still, you have come all this air this evening after making those conscious decisions to say, okay, since I'm benefiting from this, other people that have moved who want to move to West Africa, who are not of of Negro descent cannot be citizen of, cannot enjoy the privileges that is enjoyed in Liberia. Don't you see that as double standard? Don't you think that you are not the right person to represent this crusade?
So, first of all, the district that I represent is 99.9% African Americans. And I know the struggle to go through daily. But let me just give you the background of why I said Liberia is not ready at this time. In United States of America, there is check and balance. And Liberia is bankrupt to that level. To create a check and balance that will control the activities of non-Negroes in Liberia. We don't have it. Why? It's no secret. Corruption has permeated the society. So from my perspective, allowing this to happen, the elite in our country will connive with the non-Negroes and enslave our people. In the United States, there are laws here. Even in the midst of the laws, there are people that are still being suppressed in this country. So Liberia has to do a better homework before allowing this to happen. This is not the right time.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. We have two other colleagues on the show. Mr. Wilton Ketter, kindly, tell us about yourself a bit before we throw the question at you.
Thank you. Like you said, my name is Wilton Ketter Sr. I live in Connecticut, USA, and I'm a member of the board of directors, YOLA. I'm also a former president of the Liberian Community Association, Connecticut. And, I'm here as not representing YOLA, but as a concerned citizen on this issue.
What's your concern about the statement made by former President Sirleaf with discussing Article 27B that speaks to who can become a citizen of Liberia? People of Negro descent may become citizens of Liberia, and non-Negroes is the conversation now. Where do you stand in this particular debate?
Well, I think it is too early for considering such conversation. I think Liberians have come a long way, and in our own country, our people are still living in abject poverty. Liberians are still complaining throughout Liberia and also Liberia that foreigners control our economy. They are the ones that control everything in the country, money-wise. And to give those people who are controlling our economy, according to most Liberians, or all Liberians, citizenship is to further put Liberians, indigenous Liberians, and people who are already in abject poverty in serious problem. I can see our people being disenfranchised. And so it's not a bad idea, but it's too early. I think our government have to put our people first. Our government has to do better by the people, deliver our people from poverty, do our people what has not been done for them since our creation or our establishment as a nation. And then we can consider that. But at this point, I think it will be counterproductive to what we are faced with as a nation.
Now, Dr. George was, working that angle that you are in another country where seemingly you've benefited from being a citizen of that country, and you don't want others to be citizens of your country. So the question is, why are you benefiting from what you don't want others to benefit from?
Well, first of all, Liberia is not the only country in West Africa that stopped other nationals from being citizens, especially people of other race, such as white or wherever. Liberia is not the first country. So I can see Dr. George is trying to walk this line that is very troubling for him, knowing the fact that over the years, we have seen a lot that has happened in this country. And Reverend Barclay spoke to that. Today, you can be stripped out of the citizenship because of offense, a minor offense. You can be stripped of your citizenship and deported to your country of origin. So, I mean, it is a privilege that we are here, and it's a privilege that we have citizenship, but the times that we are in is a difficult times. And we are not talking about this country is a land of opportunity, equality, justice. In Liberia, it's not the same. You can't go to Bogongile in Liberia and experience the same justice as people who can afford in our society in Liberia. We have seen it over and again. We see people that walk away with impunity because they got cash. We see people, lands that are being taken away from them because another person has cash. You can't do that here. So imagine if you give people who control your economy citizenship in your country, what's going to happen to the people, our poor people? And I'm not being xenophobic or saying it's not going to happen, but let's give our country a chance. Let's give our people that breathing space to be able to make decisions. And as a matter of fact, it is constitutional. So I don't know where Dr. George coming from, except he want to override the Constitution and make people of non-Negro descent a citizen. But before that happens, it has to go through referendum. And if you went to our people in Bogongile, in some part of Bon County, Grand Bassa, they will tell you no. The fact that, take for example, we as Liberians that were forced to leave our country, not by will, but by force because of civil war, we came and got citizenship. For us to even get our citizenship back in our own country, it was something bad. Even to the extent where we are not even equal, according to the new conversation that is taking place in the society called dual citizenship. We are not even equal. There's some position in my own country that I was born, grew up, became a man in, that I cannot hold in my country only because I got another citizenship for another country. So how can I now take somebody who came from outside Liberia, who are not born in Liberia, to make them full-fledged citizen, and me who are born in my country cannot be citizen?
So my last question before I pivot back to Dr. George and Winfrey Russell, you're welcome to the program as well. I don't know if you'll be serving as a panelist or you also be serving as a guest to have this conversation. But my last question to you, Mr. Keter, is the fact that are you totally against this happening, or you feel there should be, consideration first, taking into consideration a Liberian situation where you people are given equal rights as citizens of the country before you can look outside? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, Diamond. Exactly. There was something happening in this country during the civil rights movement, right? And we have some whites that came along with the blacks, identify with blacks. And Malcolm X said, it's not a bad thing, but we got to unite ourselves first before we bring you people on, because we don't know, our strength yet. We want to come together as black, unite ourselves, then you guys can come and join us. So where we are as Liberians, there's no equality in our society. We see almost 85%, if not even more, of our people live in abject poverty. Justice is not dispensed to the people that live in abject poverty. We see that. We see our children not going to school. We see land business is a big dispute. Somebody come from the clear blue and claim me 35, 40 acres of land that nobody know where they come from. And government give them the right, breaking people's homes down. No redress.
Are these the doings of the non-Negroes?
No, I'm just saying, if this can happen to a born Liberian.
I want you to stick to that angle. My question is, If we have all of these injustices happening in our country, and we have a system that still needs to be fixed after 170 plus years, how is that the problem of the non-Negroes?
Because our system is not fixed, we can't add another problem to that. We cannot. That's not being smart. This system has to be fixed before we bring other things on. I think it will be disservice to our country and our people if we add to the existing problem that we have.
Okay. Dr. George, is back to you, and then we can go to Mr. Russell.
Yeah, first of all, let me educate people who are watching this show. This is not an ANC position show. It's an argument in the public, and we have the right to ask questions to get understanding. So those of you who are convinced that this is an ANC position, the ANC have not taken any position on anything. We're asking people who have things, and we sharing knowledge. And I know some of you find it difficult to understand how debate takes place, and you want to tie it to a political party. So, Mr. Keita and Mr. Barclay. First of all, I don't think Councilman Reverend Barclay is the right person to sell this thing. I think he should just recluse himself from this conversation, because I don't think he's in a position to sell this. But let me ask you all. I don't know how long you all have lived in these United States or how you are interacted. So this is what the Constitution says, right? The Liberian Constitution. Just this line. It says persons who are Negro or of Negro descent. That line of the Constitution, it seems like we find it challenging to understand that line, so we want to fight against something. So, but let me help you. You can help me clarify this thing, because I'm very interested in this line that said Negro descent. So I will start from Liberia. In the Lebanese population in Liberia until recently, most of the Lebanese people, the hash that came to Liberia, they got married to Liberian girls. So no Liberian girls had Lebanese children, mixed children for them. And those children came to Lebanon, they married Lebanese girls, and they had children with those children. And those children have had children, and they had children with those children. Now, after our war, they are completely Lebanese. The same thing. I was at a birthday party in Boston recently. Half of the room were white. Half of the room were black, because most of you who came, some of us who came here, got married to Caucasian girls. They had children, and the children of those children are married to Caucasian boys, and they are having Caucasian children. What line of demarcation were you used to when you see those families coming together? What line of demarcation were you used to say that this person is not of Negro descent? Because their great-grandfather, they are of Negro descent, and they are completely Caucasian. Some of them had never been to Liberia, but our constitutions can be citizens. So don't you think your train of thoughts would discriminate against this new breed of descendant Liberian children? I don't know. If you go to most Liberian parties now, birthday parties, you see that. You see it. There's a whole line of Caucasian kids. Don't you think you will be discriminating against them with this, your train of thought?
Are you asking me or Dr.
Any one of you can answer it, but I don't think Councilman Barclay is in a record.
Okay, so Reverend Barclay, can I just answer Dr. Josh? You quoted the Constitution and you explain yourself. The Constitution does not discriminate against people of Negro descent. Negro descent could be father side, mother side. There's no time in our society that children born to the union of a Lebanese and a Liberian being denied citizenship in our country. There's no time. No time. So we all got Lebanese, Liberian friends who today own land in Liberia.
But that is not my question. I'm talking about the third generation. You looking at the one you can find. I'm going to the third and fourth generation of the kids that are coming up now. There's nothing in them to
the same thing. There's nothing. Once you're Negro descent, nobody have ever disputed that in the Constitution.
Your conversation started by saying that you don't want white people to take over our country. The two of you have said that. Caucasian people.
Brother, according to the definition of white and black, if you got 1% black blood in you, you're black. You're not a white. 1% black blood in you, you are black. You're not white. So our Constitution did not discriminate against people who are descendant of black people. They did not discriminate. So you can have one parent white, one parent black. You are considered, once you're born in Liberia, you are considered a citizen in Liberia. Especially one of the things they say in our constitution, when you turn 18, you can decide to take the nationality of either your parent country or, your father country or Liberia, because one of your parents, from the country. So that is not that's not a conversation here. We're not saying that. What we're saying here is the level of disparity in our society, the poverty, the injustice. You understand? The marginalization of almost 85 or 90% of our society from enjoying the pie or the goodies of our country. Only few people enjoying it. And you take the citizenship and give it to people that control the economy. That we all cry, oh, the poor control economy. Even the common man, the grand said, the poor control economy. And you give it to them. We are not putting our people back, further into problems. I'm just saying here, let's give our country a chance. We have had civil war. Let's try to put our people to where our country is supposed to put them. And then we can start talking about the other things.
Thank you. Councilman, even though Dr. George said you're not the right person to sell this message, but what's your take on that question as well?
Yeah, I think Dr. George tried to disqualify me, but that won't move me. Maybe he's making a chance. What I want to say is that Dr. George gave his experience. Lebanese boys having children by Liberian girls. But he failed to mention where Liberian boys had children by Lebanese girls. You see the argument we put it for here? Their boys were allowed to have children by our girls, but I have recollection that tells me that if a Lebanese girl made a mistake and attempt to get pregnant by a Liberian boy, she's in trouble. So Dr. Joy just stated our case here. What we are saying to Dr. Joy is, Dr. Joy, no children you talk about that were born by either one Liberian parent, let their constitutional right be restored to them. Let them become full citizens. Your brothers and sisters that left Liberia that are hanging around here that want to go back, let their full right be restored fresh. If this will be your party's platform, you will be talking something good that we can even join you. But you jump over that and want to make non-Negroes fresh.
Look, Councilman, you have no right to speak to my party platform because you came in this country, you became a citizen. I'm not a citizen. I've been here for many. I still carry green cards, so we're different. Besides that, you are a councilman. You represent people with different background in the district you have. It has nothing to do. We are not having an ANC conversation. If you want to come to have an ANC conversation, you can have it. So this has nothing to do with party. You are not the right person to speak this because you represent people. And your constituent can take this video and can use it against you in any election in the future. That's why I'm telling you, you're not the right person to speak against to this thing.
The councilman will have to worry about that.
Don't worry. Yeah. You see, and then he's attempting something that he cannot even do. Don't attempt something that is beyond your capacity. How I get elected is beyond your reach. So let's talk about the issues on the ground.
If you want to talk about the issue, you remove the ANC from me and focus on the question I ask you, because that's where I'm speaking to you from.
Okay, so one thing I'm going to introduce is that each time you want to talk, I shut up. So I want you to practice that because I follow you a lot on the show, so that I can end my statement.
Councilman, you protected. Just go ahead.
Thank you very much. What I'm trying to say is, Dr. George, the incident you just described, where children of Liberian descent were packed in a room. These are the people I want you to advocate for as an individual. I remove the party clause. As an individual, I advocate for them. Your brothers and sisters that don't have the privilege to avoid being a citizen like you, advocate for them, for their constitutional right to be restored unto them before we go to non-Negro descendants. That's our argument here. When these things are put into place, and there's an appropriate judicial system that can protect our people from suppression and oppression, of course, then we'll listen to this argument. That's our position here.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Billy D, what's your take on this? Are you a panelist, or you want to weigh in on this as well? On this whole conversation surrounding Article 27B. It has been in our constitution from the first constitution to the second, which is the 1986 constitution that we still have as a republic. Negro descent, no Negro descent. Remember, further down in Article 27B, there is the clause that deals with whether one parent is from Liberia as of the time of the birth of the child. There you see it. That's Article 28. It clearly states that a person is a Liberian citizen if at least one parent was a Liberian citizen at the time of birth. So that is clear that if whether you white, you pink, you blue, you yellow, and one of your parents is a Liberian as of the time of your birth, you can exercise that and be a Liberian citizen. So we're sticking with the non-Negro descent and Negro descent. That is those who are coming in as non-Negroes and wanting to be citizens. Should we be thinking about having this conversation of giving them citizenship? If so, why and why not, Mr. Russell?
Thank you. Thanks, Diamond, and great being on here. Happy Sunday to everybody, to all of our listeners and our viewers. Thanks for joining us. You know, this is a very timely conversation, and I know the conversation around this clause 27B within our Constitution has come to the forefront after President Sirleaf said what she said when she visited the House of Representatives, I think a couple of weeks ago. I've been part of this conversation for a long time, Diamond, and have written about this, researched this, and written about this many times, published articles in the Daily Observer and in Front Page Africa. And I'm also been one of those who very passionate about this issue because I've been on the front line of ensuring that one of the folks who've been on the front line working with a whole host of stakeholders, Black, white, Liberian immigrant, non-Liberian immigrant, but a lot of advocates working to ensure equality in these United States, to ensure that we get citizenship. You know, we say a lot of things about President Trump, right? And a lot of people disagree with some of his policies. And we know we had this big immigration surge here in Minnesota that was targeting undocumented immigrants, as the administration said. But our communities were heavily impacted. We're still dealing with the aftermath of all of that. But one of the things that President Trump did in his first administration was, with all of the previous governments who have been very supportive and doing a lot of things, one of the things that President Trump did that speaks to why I am so passionate about this issue and been so working so hard about this issue was that after 30 years of advocating for Liberians to get citizenship in the US, to be treated fairly and to be treated equitably, in 2019, President Trump signed the LRRF, which gave Liberian citizenship. With Mr. Wetty.
So where's your stand on this, Mr. Russell?
So I'm trying to
lay and bring us back, but no. we want to stick to 27B, a context of Liberia. I understand what's happening in the US. You want to lay the basis, but for a Liberian perspective, where do you stand on this matter? Should we be talking about amending Article 27B?
Okay, I can jump to the chase, that Diamond, but I wanted to leave the premise, give the context so folks understand what has informed or what currently informed my position. And my position is, I've written an article that it's been published, it's been widely shared, it's been widely debated. And my position is that that clause is old, is wrong, is archaic. It needs to be amended. It needs to change.
Why?
Because
what are the conditions informing your decision?
But that's part of what I was going on, and you said that that's part of what I was trying to lay the foundation to give you the context of what informing my perspective on that. But then you decided for me to jump to the chase, so I jumped to the chase, and you bring me back.
We want you to put the fire in the engine and let's have this conversation.
But that's
so why are you saying it's archaic?
I'm saying it's archaic because it has outlived its usefulness. Okay, it has outlived its usefulness. If you look at all of the countries around, even within our neighborhood, every country, and especially countries who were colonized by white Europeans, all of those countries accept non-black citizens. So what I think we need to do, so instead of sitting here and saying, well, we're not there yet, when are we going to get there? Folks are not educated yet. And folks
do you think we are there, Mr. Russell? You think we are there? The argument from Mr. Kettle and Reverend Barkley is that, look, we have a fragile system. We still have grappling with the issue of poverty. Our people cannot equally compete in this business environment.
We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
The time is right, Mr. Russell.
Yes, the time is right because we have to start from somewhere. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. So this thing, if we're going to sit and wait until Liberia gets wealthy, until all of these inequalities and all of the challenges that we have in our system, if we're going to wait until all of those things are I fixed before before tackling this issue, I mean, no, I mean that I just think it's a delay tactic. These are things that need to be addressed. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can address these issues. We can let put in the right policies, the right laws to ensure that the system is ironclad and it supports all of our vulnerable population, communities, all of the folks.
My last question to you before we transition, Mr. Jeru and Dr. George, we can all have this conversation, whether as members of the panel or contributing questions as well. So my last question to you is, those arguing, including Mr. Kettle and Reverend Barkley, is that, look, you have a large population of Liberians in the diaspora, many of whom have gotten citizenships of those various countries. And there are still limitations as to how they can participate back home. Should you be rather thinking about settling that matter first, giving to those who are originally Liberians, the right to fully participate without limitations before you then go out and start sorting the non-Negro issue? What's your take on that particular train of thought?
I think we can work on both at the same time. There's nothing that say that we can work on one at the expense of the other or work on one and abandon the other. I think we can work on both of them at the same time. I think both of them are equally important. I fully support and I've supported Mr. Wetty and the movement. He supported me, the whole dual citizenship movement. I think one doesn't cancel out the other. So to say, Lord, let's take care of these people first before we take care of this other group, I just think it's a poor excuse. We can work on both of them at the same time. Both of them need equal attention and aggressive equal attention. So that's what I think. I don't think that we are advocating to abandon the dual citizenship issue. It is critically important for the development of our country. Equally so.
What are the positives, Mr. Russell? What are the positives of granting non-Negro citizenship here in Liberia? What are those positive points that informs your decision that the country should look in that direction? What are we to benefit from that?
You benefit a lot. I mean, development, technological transfer. Look, let me just tell you something real quickly to illustrate part of my point. But we benefit a lot. Where Gibson Giroux is from, the county he's from, right? And I'm just mentioning that it's in context of what I'm about to say. Mr. Giroux is from Grand Gila County. There is a very prominent doctor, medical doctor in the U.S. who was born in Grand Gila in Zwedru, Grand Gila County, but of Indian descent. His parents were of Indian. During the Civil War, he and a bunch of other local boys got together. They all did everything together. He was born there. They fled the war together. And they formed an organization. They created a nonprofit called Last Mile Health. That nonprofit is a major international non-governmental organization that had its headquarters in Zwedru, not in New Delhi or anywhere in India where his parents came from. But he chose to put it in Zwedru. They had a headquarters in Zwedru and in Boston because he was born in Zwedru. When he came here to the U.S. to get citizenship, they said, but where's your country of origin? The only country of origin he knew was Liberia. He fled to, like his friends, as refugee. Liberia denied him his citizenship. This guy is a Harvard-trained doctor who served on the Biden, Biden International Relations Council or something like that.
All right, Mr. Russell.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about. So benefiting from that guy, who had embraced Grand Gila, embraced Liberia, but we threw him away just because of that racist clause in our Constitution. I think that's wrong, and it needs to change.
Mr. Jerry, good to have you on. You can just jump in the conversation. We're talking about Article 27B. Madam Sirleaf has ignited this discussion. Where do you stand on this matter?
First of all, I'm going to be more direct so that our Liberian people understand what my position is. And I like to do that because I like to be held accountable for my position. I think it's still early for us to let non-Negroes to be citizens of Liberia. Let me say white people to be citizens of Liberia. And I'm going to use some contrasting analysis about that. There are pros and there are cons, there are negative and positive that is attached to this argument. But before we do that, let's look at what does the law intend to achieve by Article 27B? Because there are three things we need to consider when we are looking at the law. Everybody cannot be a lawyer, everybody cannot read and understand the law. But at least there are three things when you are reading the law, you should understand what the law is. You should know that the law has a letter. When they say the letter of the law or the Constitution, it has to do with the technical languages which we are not concerned about today. Oh, that's the letter of the way they wrote the Constitution. Yeah, this one, shall, they all eat in there. If you don't know both too much, you can't go to that, you can't interpret that. But there are two more things that we who are not lawyers can concern ourselves with. One of them is the intent of the law. What is the intent of Article 27B? Intent means the goal. What is the desire? What are the overriding understanding that the law intends to tell us? Then we also talk about the spirit of the law. What is the spirit of the law? Which means, what is it that the law, one moral lesson that the law intends to teach? But I want to talk about the intent today because of this particular issue. 27B, people of Negro descent can be citizens, including Liberians. When this country was formed,
it was intended to be a refuge for Negroes. So there was a protection that the 1947 law, and 1847 law, there was a protection that was being provided for the Negroes so as they cannot allow the white people to come and usurp or take everything from them because one, they were not sophisticated, two, they were former slaves and they have indignation for white people. Three, they wanted to be the one that are the masters because the people they were meeting here were illiterate, so they wanted to be the masters. So there were so many overriding reasons why they wanted that to happen. And then the only thing is, okay, you know what? We are refugees. Any other person who is a Negro descent, let them come here. We all can stay here. That was the intent of that law. Is that intent does it still exist? Or is it erased? I would say yes, the intent still exists. But let's look at the pros and the cons. Why would anybody want to give, and let me just say this, Dama, our experience with white people is a bitter experience. We met the wrong white people at the wrong time. Lebanese and
what do you mean by experience with white people is a bitter experience?
In Liberia, we call Lebanese people white people. They are not. We call Indian people white people. They are not. If you look at the attitude, the conduct, the behavior, the greediness, the selfishness of the Lebanese and the Indians towards Liberians, the manipulative attitude, the disrespect to Liberians. When you look at that, you don't want any Lebanese man to be a citizen in your country. You don't want any Indian man to be a citizen in the country. Compare that to an American company that is operating and you are working with an American company or a German company, for instance, in Lamco, or the Swedish company in Lanco. Look at the way they treated Liberians and look at the way Lebanese and Indians treat Liberians. I worked as a houseboy before. And you, as a houseboy, you are nothing. You are completely nothing. You are zero to them. They can tell you to do anything they want. You don't do it, they sack you or they call your pay. So the experience we have with the Lebanese and Indians, it better our mouth. So the intent of the Constitution, Article 27B, continue to live. They continue to impact Liberia. Even worse now because our own government is colluding with Lebanese and Indians and are abusing the right and disrespecting the rights of Liberians. You and Lebanese men go on a case, Lebanese men wins. Lebanese men can pick up the phone and call the police officer that will come and drag you without asking questions. You and Lebanese men fighting over a land, Lebanese men win. So all of these bitterness are still in Liberians. So I don't see how anybody in Liberia will say, yes, I want to put my vote on allowing white people to be citizens. So that
but Mr. Russell said that there will be business opportunities, there will be development, because now these people who cannot seemingly own property unless they pass it through a company of theirs or through a Liberian who will front and all of that, they will now have a bigger claim to stay and do much more. Do you think that is reason enough that you have Liberian, now naturalized Liberian millionaires as opposed to foreign millionaires running our country?
Liberian millionaires. So there is a proponent.
When they naturalize now, when they say the men are millionaires, they say the men are Liberian.
There is a proponent of those who are in favor, and they say, for example, there'll be economic investments and growth, economic growth. In other words, the people that are coming, they will bring money, they will build Google houses, they will infuse their money into the system, they will be comfortable, and they will not want to allow capital flights. That's one of the arguments. The other argument they had, these people that are coming, they have skills, they have expertise, they will transfer that kind of skill and expertise to us. What skill any mega? What skill Indian people someone got skill, but the Indian people is in Liberia. What kind of skill they get in Liberia? How many of them got skill? Besides selling, taking the Liberian business, what Liberians supposed to sell, they're selling it. So the real expertise that we are supposed to see, all the people that taught at the University of Liberia, that's also the American people. I never see the American men taught me when I was in the 5th grade. I never see Lebanese men go to any class and teach people. They got their own school where they go and teach. No, I just come 1 minute, just give me 1 second. let me just debunk that hopeful attitude that they have in them. And I'll tell them today, this is very dangerous. They need to stop that because our people are not ready for it. They talk about some people argue, they say, maybe there'll be tax increase. The more businesses the people bring, the more houses they build, the more things they bring, they will be taxed by the government. There will be more money coming in. In fact, other people argue that there will be a modernization of Liberia. Our country will change. They will bring modern life. We'll have a global expertise. But let me just give you some negative that on my head that I just sit down right now and I think about my mirror in the market. I think about my brother somewhere there, Ryan Keke, and I can tell you these are the negative things that will happen to us, and we are not looking at it. For instance, look at the land situation right now. We already have problem with Lebanese using Liberian and buying up our lands. Tell me if a Lebanese man becomes citizen tomorrow, they can go and buy the whole places and all the lands, and will be left with nothing.
Okay.
We'll
come back to you. We'll come back to you, Mr. Jerry.
Gibson, that's fear mongering, Gibson. That's fear mongering.
How many one more you got? Because if there's one more now, you've been doing it for 4-5 times. How many one more you alone? But
Dr. George, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, let me just ask Gibson, because Gibson confused me. So guessing your fight is not the same fight that Mr. Keita and the Reverend Barkley is fighting, because what I'm hearing from you is that you have problem with the people, but American people
No, don't put me. I said white people. I'm just saying we have a bad experience with Lebanese and Indians.
Yes.
And that clouded our
yes. So your argument seems to be that
non-Negro to be citizens.
Yeah, but my question to you, my dear brother Gibson, let me ask you this question, because don't you think that we are fighting against the symptoms instead of the problem?
Of course, we are fighting against the problem, not the symptom.
Oh, okay, so let me list the thing you're talking about.
The problem that we're fighting.
We have laws on the book that says these businesses belong to Liberians. We have laws on the book that says that land should be owned by Liberians. We have those laws. So everything you're fighting against, we have there on the law. So the issue here is that I think looking at the symptom of the citizenship instead of the problem, because if we decide to follow the laws that are on the book, we may not be having this argument. Let's give an example, Gibson. In Dubai, you cannot open a business except a citizen of Dubai and take you and sponsor you to open a business. 80% of Dubai is non-citizen. Only 20% are citizen. They don't have problems with the problem that you're talking about now. They don't have it because they follow the law that they have on the books. But everything you need, Lebanese taking property, Sam Jackson recent a survey from what a place in which street he started from. I think from 3rd Street or 4th Street or 19th Street Single, all the way to Congo Town, he counted 19 businesses. And all those 19 supermarkets, not one like the supermarket. I think we're fighting the symptom instead of the problem. We need to advocate to solve the problem. We need to advocate for Liberians to have to own these businesses. We need to advocate for the land right to be in, like we should advocate, and that's what happened in even Ghana, our next door neighbor, does not stop as we are stopping, but they have the laws in place. And I always give the example that I witnessed personally in 1992. The very first person that was to open a private radio station in Ghana was Whitman Stubberfield. He was denied that because they wanted him to have a Ghanaian partner to open his own business in Ghana. So if we don't practice the law, why are we fighting against saying that the Lebanese didn't want to do it? Why are we not? Mr. Keita, you can come and speak to it. And you spoke to them, most of it, 90% of your team was Lebanese.
You say you want to come and speak to it?
And then, Councilman, as I learned, the reason why I come to you, I'm not going to vote in your district. I'm not qualified to vote in this country. But nobody go into politics and win a first election to stop at a lower level. And that's why I believe, I'm just speaking to you as a brother, I believe that if your political ambition is to go to,
you have to be a citizen too as well.
if you're no, I'm not going that way. I just try to advise him. If you're going to go higher than where you are right now, this conversation you shouldn't be taking a leave for it. That's just an answer. You can take it any way you want to take, and you're right. I'm not going to go to your
I'd like to respond for 30 seconds, if you don't mind.
Mr. Jeru, just quickly, just respond to
Actually, ask me a question, that's why.
So we can go to the councilman, then Mr. Wilton Ketter, and then Mr. Russell. Go ahead.
Look, my brother, we are fighting the real problem, not the symptom. The real problem. I told you Lebanese and Indian be clouded our judgment to even see the white people as a blessing to come. But even as we are in Liberia, the way our law is we have laws. You mentioned the laws. And while the laws are on the books, businesses that Liberians supposed to do, they are being undertaken by Lebanese Indians and other non-Liberians, and they are comfortably working. And nobody cares.
So someone will ask you then, Mr. Jeru, how is it the problem of the non-Negro? You should be implementing your laws to protect your citizens, shouldn't you? You should be putting stronger measures in place to make sure your people can have a fairer share of the pie. If these businesses are meant for only Liberians, they should be protected. But if you, the enforcer, is allowing the lapses to happen, how then is that the problem of the people?
It is a problem. It is a problem of the non-Negroes because they come with an objective. They come with a job. Those who live in Abidjan, y'all know that French people are citizens. There is a whole region in Ivory Coast that social French people live. Social French people, they live there. Those who live in Freetown, because I lived in Freetown for almost 2 years, running a junior high school there, you know that Lebanese control the whole of Freetown. In fact, the Sierra Leone government is in Lebanese pocket. But let me just tell you, Diamond, for those who have not traveled other places, when they sit down, and because they just come straight to America, they sit down, they think that it is okay for the white people to take citizenship. They put out the money to bribe our people. Our people are not ready to resist the temptation, the arrogance of these people.
So whose fault is it? Should our leaders not be, Mr. Gibson Jeru, should our leaders not be patriotic enough? Should our leaders not be stern enough to say, look, we have the responsibility of protecting our people. We want a fairer share in this economy. You know, if you have to open a business and you must have a Liberian partner, and the partnership should be not less than 50% before you can do this, these people are to make it happen for our people. But if you leave it like that, my question to you is, how is it the problem of the non-Negro when you have said the fish should smell and so the cat is coming to eat it?
My brother, let me say this, maybe it will make it easy. You saw somebody in a house controlling the man, whole family dictating to them, and then they say you must give the man power to come to your house to stay. Like what we are talking about here. You know, Liberian, they vote they are going to cast to amend that constitution. It is allowing these people to do exactly what they're going to do. Look, we can blame our lawmakers, we can blame our government officials for being relaxed on the law, but you should also understand that these people are very manipulated. Let me take for those who live in Minnesota. You live in Minnesota, Winfred. The Somalians, look at the level of manipulation with the sophistication of America, with the sophistication of people in Minnesota. Look at how they manipulated Minnesota and stole millions of dollars. So that's in America, that is sophisticated. Somalians can come and steal millions of dollars.
No, the fraud is up to about billions.
Thank you, billions. But I just said millions, just to give an idea. If America is so sophisticated and Somalian because of their presence, because of their voting block in Minnesota. If Somalians say you're not going to be, especially Minneapolis. Because of the number, the Lebanese will come in there number. They will take a whole voting block. The Indians will come in there number. They will take, you know that one of the largest group the largest group in the world, citizens in the world. I mean, a population of India. India can bring 1 million people in Liberia and put them somewhere, and they get voting block, and they can you can stop them. So no, so let's stop that. We're now ready for it. If you try it, we'll demonstrate and we'll not get an amendment.
It's still just a conversation thing. It hasn't reached to where it would be a referendum.
Why you want to demonstrate?
Why you want to demonstrate? Can't even reach that far. But to you, Councilman, I know you've been watching. Are there pros for Liberia to benefit? Even though you are saying no, you're not for this. But tell us pros and cons if we were to even take this conversation a bit further to having it as an item on a referendum sheet.
You talking about me?
No, Councilman, the Councilman.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let me just begin that to recognize that my friend and brother, Dr. George, if I have your number, I will seek good advice for you because you have good intention about me. But I want to say here is that there is a convergence of thoughts from where we are right here. You spoke about us treating the symptom and not the problem, and I agree with you. And that's the main reason for which we say we are not ready. Someone put for the pros of allowing non-Negroes to become citizens. Let me just divert a little bit to go to where Honorable Jeru spoke about and give the comparison of LAMCO and other complaints as compared to Lebanese and Indian complaints. I was privileged to work for LAMCO, to go to school in LAMCO and work there. I know how there was fair practice and best pay. I went to VDC. I was paid while I was going to school because it was Swedish company and other international company that was sponsoring this. I came to Monrovia. I worked for ExxonMobil. So I know what it looks like to work for those who call white people, the Lebanese and the Indians. I know what it looks like to work for the real American. I know the difference. What I'm saying here is that if we want to open our country, let us first start to open it to Negroes that founded the country. There are wealthy Negroes in this country, African Americans, that will not find it difficult to be attracted to Liberia and participate in our economy. They are already Negroes. But let me come back to the argument that allowing non-Negro will boost the economy. We are taking a lazy approach. Our country is wealthy. Our country is rich. The energy and sophistication we have based on our academic backgrounds can advocate for us to put control over our economy, the expenditure in our country, the way we use our resources. And we can begin from there to develop our country ourselves without even inviting non-Negroes. So the argument that you bring non-Negro and will develop the country is a weak argument. But I will agree with you, Dr. George, if we go back to the root and reinforce those things that are on the laws and unite regardless of our political alliances and come together with one agreement. Look, our country is being exploited due to a weak system. That's why we are afraid, because the system is weak. If you allow these people that are manipulative already, that we are seeing, will be mortgaging our country, will be selling our country, to the point that people in the village will ask for where to go use the bathroom, because those guys will buy all the land by colluding with corrupt people that are in authority. So I agree with you on this one, Dr. George. Let us address the root cause before we start to invite non-Negroes.
Thank you. Mr. Keta, where do you stand? Do you see any pros of allowing non-Negroes to be citizens of our country, or pros and cons? Any of the two?
Thank you. Before I get to your question, I want to address Mr. Russell on something he said and Dr. George. So my brother Russell, when we talk about citizenship, path for the citizenship, when you speak like Liberians were here before Jack Reeves, who Liberian advocated, pushed, talked to, lobbied around before he went and passed and gave that bill to Trump during Trump's first term to pass.
No, he
You
smuggled
talk, you
in there.
speak,
He smuggled in
you,
there.
you speak, yes, you speak like no Liberian were having citizenship in this country. And that's not the way to speak, Mr. Russell. We have Liberians have citizenship in this country. The green card that Jack Reeves put, it was for people who were here without status, zero status, because we were some of the people that they sent out to advocate. We were some of the people that informed our people to make use of the opportunity when Jack Reeves pushed that bill through Trump when he was signing the military bill, and he signed it. We were advocating up to today's date. Some Liberians even didn't take advantage of that situation up to today's date because some of them said they were afraid, they thought they were lying. So when we can't speak about these things, we shouldn't show like, oh, no Liberian here was citizen before, because that's what you sound like that no Liberian was citizen, and Donald Trump passed this whole bill here and gave Liberian citizenship. That was not true. I came here 2003. I became citizen by 5 years after I became citizen. I had my green card the very year I came here, 5 years after I had my citizenship. It was long before Jack Reeves pushed that bill in. So let's just get clear with the whole thing. We are not saying it's wrong. We are saying it's not timely, right? And Dr. George said some things here too, right? You quoted laws. You said there are laws on the book, and Dama asked the question. And this is why we are saying, have our laws on the book been implemented by our leaders? Our laws are not implemented by our leaders. You understand? When it comes to our people, these people use the law against our people in favor of people with money. They use look at what's happening around our country. How will you go and break people's homes that got due? They've been there since 50 years, money 75 years. Because somebody come and say, this place for me. No justice. Another example, they broke all the houses around the how they call it, the elevated road in front of, what the place name? The ministerial complex. But guess who building the left standing up there? George Calando. Why did they leave it there? Money. If that was a poor man got that place, it was going to go. What we're saying here today is give Liberian people a breathing space. Liberian people, some of them vote, the way they vote. You tell me, somebody made a salient point here. If you give Lebanese Indian citizenship, our country will be flooded by Lebanese and Indians. Chinese will all come over there. You know what's going to happen? They're going to buy our people all of the property because our people poor and make our people slave in their own country. Tell me we store in Liberia. Tell me we store in Liberia that a Lebanese man own, that a Liberian is a manager in our store. Or which business in our country a Lebanese or Indian man own in our country that a Liberian is a manager. You spoke of Ghana. Ghana, you gotta be, even you are a black man, you're not from Ghana, and you open a business, a Ghanaian has to be in front of that business. So it's a different thing. Our country, the people in leadership, they are not concerned about the innocent people or the poor people. They are concerned about themselves. And so we must not do this thing at this time. Let's just scratch this. Let's start talking about how we can empower our people, how we can give our people justice, how our people can get fair share of the pie of our country.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Keter. I'll get back to you, Mr. Russell. We see Samuel E. Greaves is on, if he can join the conversation. But Mr. Russell, you made this assertion, and if the way I'm coining it is not what you meant, you can kindly correct it. But were you insinuating that in order for Liberia to experience a boom of development, we must make non-Negroes citizens so they can have, a better place in our society to develop the country? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you meant to say?
No, Diamond. So we cannot reduce this conversation. It's a very comprehensive and sensitive conversation or a sensitive issue, and we cannot just reduce it to sound bites, right? So if people want to know my full thoughts on the issue, like I said earlier, I published an article about this. I've researched like several years, and it was republished by Spoon, Front Page Africa, and the Daily Observer. So, but that's not what I'm insinuating. That's not what I said. But let me just go back to what Mr. Ketter, that's how he pronounced your last name. So what Mr. Ketter said. If that's what you got from what I said in referencing the LRIF that President Trump signed during his first term in office, no, sir, that's not where I was coming from. That's not what I meant. Obviously, Liberians have been citizens of the U.S. for a very, very long time, long before the 1989-90 war that brought a surge of Liberians to the United States. In Minnesota, for example, Liberians started arriving here back in the 40s and 50s, to learn and study about mining and geology when LAMCO was being established. So Liberians have been here for a very, very, very long time. So that's not what I was saying. I was just, talking about a pivotal point within our diaspora with respect to immigration during that time when you had 10,000 Liberians. And out of that 10,000, if you can multiply it by 2 or 3 of people who benefited from that particular bill. I mean, within the grand scheme of the immigration, it was a very, very small, minute issue. That's what, like Dr. George said, or someone else said, that whole stuff, Jack Reed and all of the people who sponsor and co-sponsor it was like buried in this massive defense appropriation bill that Trump and them did not even see it. It was smuggled into it or something to say. So I mean, but for us, the impact was huge. But in any case, so I just wanted to just clarify that issue. Diamond, my point is, by keeping the Negro clause in the Liberian Constitution without this being amended, I think we essentially are saying to investors that they are welcome to spend their money, but they can never have a permanent stake in the country's future. We talk about land, okay? And Dr. George referenced, and look at some of these Caribbean nations as look at some of what country. Ghana, for example, you cannot own a land for more than 50 years as a non-Ghanaian. Okay. And in Rwanda, for example, I think it's up to 99 years. And even in the very Ghana, if you come there, and we have that too in the US, and you invest about $500,000, you automatically, are given a pathway to citizenship. Okay. So if we are telling people, say, okay, come in, spend your money, but you don't have any say or any future here. I know what we fight for here, to have a say in this country. So for me, I see it as being very hypocritical to be fighting to get a say and have a say in another person's country, get citizenship, get land right, property rights, and all of that. And in my country, I'm denying others. I think that's wrong. So let's fix the laws.
Russell, just a quick question.
Implement the laws that we already have on the book.
Mr. Russell, just a quick question. Can you compare the systems, the setup of what America has got to what Liberia has got, the conditions and everything, because you're being granted citizenship there, so we should do a reciprocal thing and make sure they get. So can we compare the two in terms of systems and setups and everything?
I'm not comparing the two. They were not apples and apples. There were two different situations, two different contexts.
Are like
conditions are different, but I reference If you remember, I referenced Ghana and Rwanda. They allow non-Negro citizenship. They also allow non-Negro land ownership. But like Dr. George and others have said, and you too have also argued, that we can't be blaming the folks for our own lapses and our own incompetencies. Let us fix the law, even the laws that we currently have on the book. Let us ensure that those laws are adhered to and are carried out adequately.
Okay.
Ghana can do it, so we can do it. So I'm not even looking at the U.S. I worked in Nigeria for 3 years, Diamond. The receptionist at the office I worked for, it was an American company, but the receptionist at the company I worked for was a Lebanese Nigerian woman. Our accounting was a Guinean a Lebanese. But
all right, Mr. Russell, I like to hold you there 1 minute. Let's
Sure.
bring Mr. Greaves in on the conversation. I know he just joined us. Hope you've been following. Where do you stand, Mr. Greaves, on this? While you answer the question,
Absolutely.
you can also introduce yourself to us as well. And where do you stand on this conversation? Article 27B. Should we be looking at talking about granting non-Negroes citizenship status in Liberia?
Well, again, I'm Samuel E. Greaves, a political advocate, and I'm currently member of the board of EULA in the Americas and serving as chairman of the board of directors of Liberian Association in Pennsylvania. And also in my capacity, I'm serving as assistant secretary general of the board of EULA. And I have closely followed Liberian politics, and I've been involved into Liberian politics for quite a long time. So yes, 100% I'm in support of amending Article 27B. Let me tell you why. Currently, as we speak, in Grand G that I read on one of the early dailies of article that people are taking land that they do not own, or somewhere in one of the counties, I'm not too sure. But the question is, are they owned? Absolutely, the answer is no. Let us look around. Ownership, we have three categories. I'm not too sure if every one of us followed the trend. We have government land ownership, and then we have tribal reserves all across Liberia. So many of these things are covered by Article 27 being placed in the Constitution from the day of the foundation. Those protection clauses, they not only covered African Americans or the returnees, I call them, but it also covered everyone that's going to come in to own the land. Let's take, for instance, what contribution are the non-Negro making to Liberia in our educational sector, in every aspect of our society? Don't you think these guys can make a better contribution if we give them the opportunity? What I'm advocating, excuse me, when Martin Luther King said the fierce urgency of now, he was in the threat of the future of what would happen when African Americans have the right to vote. He was concerned with what will come, the benefit that will come. And I think Liberia stand to benefit more for Negro owning a land. All we need to do by the books, we need to put limitations, we need to put clause in our constitutional clause. What would the land ownership bring? And how far can they go? What can they do? Like in Ghana, many of the speakers before me reference, they have restrictions. Okay, you can own land in this country, but you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot go above this. Because no matter what, I will give you an example. My ancestral land is in Grand Bassa County, District number 4, which is now incorporated District number 5. Part of that district is owned by my grandparents. My mother is a Weibo. If everybody know the history of Grand Bassa County, the Weibo own that land. So that's a tribal reserve. So if my people decide to bring economic benefit to their land and decide to lease or sell a land to a white man, let it be the tribal people that make the decision. And it is not no one political person to say, oh, this is not the time or this is the time. But what are we seeing for those opposing amendment to Article 27B is that let our people languish in poverty. What difference does it make anyway? Look across Liberia. The lands are just there for hundreds of years. Our people benefited from that. Amongst Liberian leaders, the other leaders taking the land and impoverishing our people. And it is not the Constitution. That's what we need to understand and realize from here.
So you say
policy issue without a constitutional amendment.
Mr. Grease, you're saying that we should give them citizenship, but limit them to second-class status? Is that what you're saying? Because if you're saying there should be limitations,
well, second class
and how is that
demeaning? No, that's not what I'm going. No, that's that's not what I'm going. Second class citizenship will be demeaning, but we can put restrictions and limitations on the books. And with guard and be a guardrail to how to move forward, not to infringe on our people, not to do XYZ. If it is in the books, then definitely we can make progress. But to exclude it completely, it is.
Hey, Gibson, we'll listen to you. Mute yourself, Gibson.
Mute yourself. Okay, I've done that for him. Yeah, Mr. Grease, just wrapping on. Wrap up on your.
I'm not protected, Mr. Moderator.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Now, let me wrap up on this. On the books, we have a liberalization policy for those who are speaking about horseball doing here and there. Now, with the inability of certain of the administrations in the past and present to ensure the liberalization laws are enforced, and then we are confusing that to that Article 27B. This Article 27B is discriminatory. Society have evolved, and so should our country be. Rather than us keeping our people in poverty, and we have senators making $15,000 of dollars, and our people cannot even afford, and then we just say we are protecting them for land ownership. Land ownership to a non-Negro is not our problem. It is the system, the failure to implement what we have on the book is the problem. But let's give our people the opportunity, the land ownership to non-Liberian. Thank you. I yield.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Greaves. So from what I gathered from you is, yes, give non-Negroes citizenship, but still limit them to certain things, and that limitation in itself is those limitations are they not discriminatory? Because if you tell somebody that, look, I'm going to grant you citizenship, but you cannot do X, Y, and Z as compared to someone who's a natural born Liberian, are you still not discriminating, Mr. Greaves? Just to answer that and don't go around the table quickly.
No, I am not discriminating. Even in the great United States, of which all of us here are citizens, we cannot become president. Those are limitations. Now, one of us on this land who are American citizens can become a president in the United States. That exclusively reserved for American-born citizens and not a naturalized citizens. So if we are giving the citizenship right to non-Liberian or non-Negro descent, definitely we can make exception to the laws. It's simple. Now is the time we as Liberians must consider that.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Jerry, as you come in, and then we'll go as we started, Dr. George, the honorable councilman, and Mr. Ketter, we can continue the conversation. We definitely hear from the Liberian people as well. But my next question to everybody here is, why now? Or is the time now, Mr. Jerry? You muted, sir. You muted.
A direct answer is, instead of even saying now and not ready at all, I will not even say now. They're not ready at all. Let me give you a few examples. For me, I let you tell the example. Let my poor let our poor know. Because when you start your non-Negro citizenship in it, I will be one of those who will encourage people to go in the street and demonstrate and never to vote for that constitutional amendment. I'll give you one example. Liberia, even Liberian who become citizens in America, they cannot be president in America. Then in our own country, they say we can't be president again. See that nonsense the people doing to us? Those of you Liberians who are citizens, you can be president in America. In Liberia, where your neighbor stream buried, they pass a foolish law and say you can also be president. But not only that, though. Not only that. The people say, let me give you some indicators. The people say not only that you can be president in Liberia, but you can hold cabinet position. You can be any minister in Liberia. Not only that you can be cabinet minister in Liberia, you can be deputy minister.
Yeah, that's the door citizen.
You can be head of any autonomous agency. You can work at LPRC as a head, the water and sewer as a head. You can work at any of those agencies as a head. You can be any ambassador. They will not even appoint you to be ambassador for Liberia. You can hold any position in national security like defense minister. These kind of things, these kind of law that they passing. They say Liberians in America who are citizens, they can hold certain position in America. They say, let me go to my country. Let me go back to my country. They say, no, when you come here too, you can be president here too. We'll not let you. So where they will be president now? Where they will hold major position? So this is the people you are talking about. Hey, people are talking about dual citizenship, not dual citizenship. People are talking about citizenship for non-Negro. People who want to leg their hand. They want to leg their hand.
What you mean?
They want to leg their hand. Because they in cohort with 11 people. It will never happen in Liberia. I'll be one of those who will fight against it. But Mama, tell me, Dama, tell me, what is it that the non-Negro will do that they can't do now? Let me give you one indicators. In Ghana, they got something what they call leasehold. In other words, you can lease the property, you can now own it forever. The time when they're ready, they can take it from you. That's the law in Ghana. They say leasehold. In Sierra Leone, you can also have a long-term lease, but it can be broken by the government at any time. So these people put in place, but even in Sierra Leone, look at the way Sierra Leone looking. Different here. Now, if you say a lie, take your small money, go for vacation in Sierra Leone. And
no, send me the small money, let me go. Let me go for the vacation.
I can do that.
Make that commitment now on the show. Let me go on and investigate it.
I can do that.
No, but make the commitment. You say you
can.
But
tell me when you want to go. Then I plan myself. I got tape and all.
You are paralegal. If you say you can, you might not do. Say I shall do that.
So let me just tell you, my brother. Let me just tell you something. Y'all stop giving our people headache. Y'all will not bring the kind of amendment to our people. Our people will not understand the intricacies of these things. You bring it, somebody go and get them $5 ready to go vote for it, and their own death warrant they signing. Just stop it. It will not help our people. It will help our people. We'll see what the people will do. We'll see what the people will do. Apart from Moravia, you tell me, apart from Moravia, do the Lebanese people have major investment in something outside of Moravia? They only invest in Moravia.
So you saying that not now?
Not ever.
Ever. All right. So to you, Mr. Keter, I'll get back to you, Mr. George. Mr. Greaves, I heard you will give you your time as well. But to you, Mr. Keter, is the time right, or is there ever going to be a time? If so, what time would that be?
If you want to do it, y'all bring Gonglo and put Gonglo there. Gonglo will do it. You will put it in place. But you're not bring Gonglo. You put any other president there. You put Boaga there. Forget it. You put
Damon, can I just speak to spoke to?
Yeah, let's
do Mr. Keter. We'll get to you. I beg you, Mr. Greaves. Yeah, Mr. Keter, please go ahead.
So I don't think we should say definitely that would never happen. I don't think so. I think when our country have good leadership, people who the Liberian people can trust and really show their integrity to making sure that Liberia is for all Liberian benefit from the cake. and or any Liberian have the ability to make decisions that will enhance their well-being in their own country. And then we can look and say, okay, let's open it up. Until then, it will be counterproductive. It will be a disaster to see Liberian or our leaders giving citizenship. You know, we blanket to say white. When we say non-Negro, just put on white. The people that we are talking about is not actual white people. I don't know what the color is. I know we're talking about Lebanese, Indians, and the rest of them. We're talking about people that control our economy. Those are people that some Liberians are sitting here advocating for. And I think it's wrong at this point because in our society, if you work with a Lebanese man and he does not want to pay you, you ain't got no law to protect you. The law will be on the side of the Lebanese man because all he has to do is to put his hand in your pocket and fill somebody's pocket with some money. You're going to be sitting down and waste your time. It just, look at what happened at Transport Ministry today. Look at what happened at Transport Ministry today. You got legitimate civil servant. You got a government institution that has been sidelined and given the right to a foreign entity. Tell me, Dan and Diamond, you say you went to what a place named Ralphie. In those small stove that people sell. They took that stove and gave it to foreigners instead of giving it to Liberians to sell in. Because we do not have it. The first thing they said, we are not capable. We don't have the ability to do these things. Customers say we're lacking.
In this, Mr. Ketter is saying, if you were to give citizenship to these people, they will be Liberians.
The thing about it is, it would disenfranchise the Liberians are supposed to even be there. At this point, we have not even given them it. Liberians are crying. Go there and see for yourself. You are a journalist, and you're one of the journalists in Liberia that I really follow and admire. You go and investigate and see things. You understand? So you go to those places and see. Go to King George. See how the people treat our people on the mine. Go to Asalamita. Liberians are crying, no redress. You see those places? Go there today and see. We are in our Indian-owned company over there, Asalamita. Our brother talk about Lamco. I live in Bon Mines. I live among German people. There was no discrimination. We have senior staff, junior staff, and all around the place. People enjoy themselves.
So
but
for
today,
you, it's not now, but you see
it's not now.
Put systems in place.
System has to be in place. Serious system. And Liberia has to have the edge in the economy to be able to achieve that.
Thank you. Dr. George, you've been listening before we get to the councilman. Do you see this as
I just wanted to roll in quick on what the last two speakers said, Tama.
Yeah, Mr. Greaves, I beg, because they've been here and we have to go in that order. We'll get to you and you just jot down your thoughts. You'll definitely make them once we get to you. Right. Dr. George, what's your take? Now or in the near future or never, as Gibson has said, it's never ever going to happen in Liberia.
Initially I don't want to do it, you can do it down. I see it.
Initially, I thought there was a EULA position, but the other EULA man came. They said
they said they didn't come here as EULA; they came as individuals.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why you're crying. You're crying about Barry Barkley accusing you of being ANC. You're crying now. You see, Mr. George.
Mr. George is just
now I understand why EULA position got him.
But we switch on ANC position, he start crying here, right?
But let's become citizen in America. We get
okay. Look, this is my position, and I do agree with the elder gentleman from EULA, even though I was pushing that on the side. My personal position is that we have to spend some time to study this, spend some time to understand this, but we also have to spend a lot of time, and I've said so many times on the platform, in respecting the laws that we have on the book. If we're respecting the law we have on the book and was being implemented, the whole issue of citizenship will be a non-conversation. It will not mean anything to the Liberian person, the Irish Liberian person. But when you have a situation in a country where you have the Lebanese, and then according to Uncle Sam research, and I respect Uncle Sam for being a great researcher, that from 19th Street all the way to Concord, past Concord Town, all the way, how they call it, all the supermarkets, not a single Liberian own it. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. When you have Lebanese and Indians selling sachet water when it should be a business that is designated for only Liberians, that's a problem. When you see them, the Chinese selling sand, when only Liberians supposed to sell sand in the country, that's a problem. And it is those things that this type of conversation will become xenophobic, because the people are not benefiting from what the law said they should benefit. And that's the reason we have this question going back and forth. And that's why Gibson is not happy, because he worked with a Lebanese man and the Lebanese man beat him. So
George guy.
So I thought you carried. But so that's the issue. That's where it's, but there is an African adage. There's an African.
That made me to watch it breathe. That made me
Oh,
Look at that.
There's an African adage that says that it is extremely difficult. So it starts with it. It's easy for an African man to forget the death of his father than for him to forget the taking away of his father's property. And this is a situation we find ourselves in. But this is a conversation we need to have. Some of us have to be provokers so that we can hear this thing. But it's a conversation we have to have as a country. But I agree with the brothers from ULA that as a country, we are not ready because we have not implemented the laws we have on our book right now. And if we can implement what we have, it will be difficult for us to put new law and implement those new laws where it come on the book.
Thank you, Mr. George. Councilman Barclay, do you see this happening now in the near future, or never ever, as Gibson Jerry said? And if so, what are those things we need to put in place if we were to even consider this conversation any further, said by Dr. George, where we need to, study the matter and see how best we can come up with the best possible solution? Now, ever, never?
Now I want to stand to agree with my brother again that I think we are on the same path, that this issue requires thorough study, review, constant pressure should be on it so that we can understand it better and design the path we want to take. But we are not ready now. What are the things we have to do that will make us to be ready? One, let us unite to place control system on our resources that we have. Two, let us look at developing the infrastructure of learning institutions in our country to enable the young ones that are coming up to become more competitive to the challenges that will come at the time Liberia will decide to make non-Negro citizens. And I want to insert here that there is a need for us to look back. They are our brothers and sisters in this country, African Americans whose forefathers founded Liberia. If we are intending to infuse non-Liberian resources and expertise into our system, let us consider our Black brothers and sisters in the United States. They are struggling, and we give them pathway. They can help us to develop our country, and we will share the same identity and feelings, because that's what they do in this country. They receive me, they accommodated me because we share the same feelings. We share the same suppression. We share the same inequality in this country. So when they join us in Liberia, they will share similar feelings with us. But as it stands, we are not ready. And I agree with Dr. George. We need to study it. Now, let me just comment on the name EULA that has been mentioned throughout. We didn't come here to represent EULA, but I want to challenge this station. EULA is the umbrella organization of Liberian associations in the Americas. This station will do its duty to reach out to EULA so ULA can come up with its official position on these discussions. Because of course we are not representing ULA here, but ULA owes the public a position on these discussions. There's not time to remain mute in these heated arguments. It's time for our position to be known, for our fellow Liberians to know where we stand on this matter. So I agree, this needs to be studied, but this is not the time.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Russell, I'll hold you for last. Let me bring on Mr. Greaves. He's been holding his thoughts. I'll get back to you. You a mainstay on the program, so we can keep you for the longest. Mr. Greaves, kindly go ahead. Yeah, you have some comments to make concerning statements made by previous speakers.
All right, so thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so very quickly, yes, Liberia is ready. Let me just remind everyone on this line now. In 2018, the Land Right Act gave land ownership to non-Liberian missionaries, those intending to build educational facility and whatever it is. So that act saw the goodness and the beauty of granting citizenship to non-Liberian. That is the step in the right direction. 2018, the Land Right Act were amended. Why do you think that was done? Number one, the Catholic missions, the Baptists, and every other educational institution across Liberia, the land and breadth of our country, they own those land, and today we produce Wallow, a Bear Wallow, to graduate from Harvard University only because the Catholic mission had access to land in Liberia, in the southeast region, we call it today.
Mr. Agrees.
Yes, it is time.
Corporations, institutions, legitimate businesses registered in Liberia, whether to foreigners or Liberians, can own lands. You know, if it's a legitimate corporation, and so it doesn't translate.
They have. No. Let me correct that. They have lease agreement, but there are exceptions to non-Liberian missionaries, educational institutions to own land directly according to the 2018 laws. And I'm not speaking from
what I was saying is, prior to that, if you are a foreigner and you open a business, your business is property. It's not you that own it, but the business can own a property.
No, that means in that context, you go through the lease. According to the 2018, you have access to lease the land. But non-Liberian missionary can own the land. I mean, we can look at the law. I'm willing to come back anytime to discuss that. So the country is looking in the right direction. All we need to do, continue to study this approach and put laws on the books that would empower our people to lift them from the abject poverty. And number two, let me get to concession. Many of mine, the previous speaker spoke about concession. They enjoy this latitude and everything in the concession area. I had an opportunity where my late father worked for Tottenberg, Liberian Mining Company in Bomi Hills. Because of good policy, I had an opportunity to go to free hospital. I rode free bus, and many other young Liberians that were born in Bomi Hills, Tottenberg, we call it, had that opportunity because of good policies. So we are missing policy issue that are a constitutional matter. So if we have an administration in the past and now are putting in bad policies that disenfranchise the Liberian people, and we expect here to relate that to a constitutional matter, that is oxymoron. And I don't want not one of us here to have that mind that, look, this is what it is. It's a policy issue. We got to start making the kind of wrong comparative analysis. It is not time for Liberia to think about that. I don't get involved into politics issue like this, but this one, I am involved into it. I'm ready to go.
Mr. Greaves, do you think it can happen now, or it can happen in the near future? Should we be having our conversation now or in the future?
We should. The answer is absolutely. We can start having it now. So if it is not now, but then when? Then when?
Mr.
Our
Russell,
people continue to die in poverty until suffering and greedy dissension.
Okay,
That's
Mr.
where our
Chris.
people are gonna go in.
Thank you. Mr. Russell, quickly.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question about the guardrails that he thinks is in place now to have the conversation.
Mr. Chris, you can answer the question. What are the guardrails? What are those policy frameworks or those things we can look at that you have said informs your decision that this can happen now?
You can't name any. You have to move on to the next person. They don't know what guardrails are. Let's go to the next person.
Maybe he's having a delay. But Billy D, do you think this can happen now? And if so, what are those things in place to make it happen now to support your arguments?
Yeah, so I think this is a conversation that needs to happen now. These are things that we need to. I mean, now we're having this. This is a big public discussion. Since Ellen Johnson said what she said at the Library of Congress there. So I mean, I think we need to start having this conversation. We see the conversation is rife on social media all over. People were debating this issue. People have different perspectives, on this issue. So clearly, I mean, the time is now for us to have this conversation. We have a big tent. Let's have this conversation. We should not kick the can down the road, so to speak. We need to have it now. But to say that we are not ready or the Liberian population is not ready for this conversation, I think that's not true. We can start the conversation now. It doesn't mean that we have a solution at this moment or right now, but let's start to have this conversation. I mean, this stuff has been the 65,000-pound gorilla that's been in the room that nobody has been.
What about a gorilla, Mr. Russell? What about a gorilla of putting limitations on Liberians that are in the diaspora, even though you say once a Liberian, always a Liberian? What about that gorilla? Don't you think we should be addressing that? What about the gorilla where some Liberians are saying, look, we need to have voting rights in our country? What about that gorilla? Do you think we should focus on the Liberian issues before we go outside? Or don't you think, though you said earlier on, we can do the same, we can do both at the same time? But don't you think we should be addressing that 650-pound gorilla first?
No, I think like I said, and I hold on to that position that we can do both at the same time. The current law doesn't just keep our.
If you were to pick one as a priority of the two, which would you go for?
So this is what I would say, Diamond. Like I said, the current situation that we have now, it doesn't just impact or affect.
Pick one. Billy D, pick one. If you were to pick one as a priority between the two, would you be looking at taking off limitations on Liberians who are in the diaspora and got citizenship for so many reasons and they are limited in capacities, or you be looking at giving non-Negro people of non-Negro descent citizenship? Which of the two would you make a priority for this conversation, Mr. Russell?
That's what I just said, Diamond. I think both of them.
No, you have to pick one. You cannot have the two having the same level of engagement at the same time, Mr. Russell. You know that is not possible. So pick one.
So if you want us to have a binary choice, okay, between this and that, I mean, clearly, I don't even think. I mean, like what eminent Wetty and others have been pushing for. I mean, it just sounds crazy to me that the current law that we have restricts natural-born Liberians from having, the opportunity to hold positions or permanent positions in the country of the birth. I think that is hardy. So if you give me a binary choice between that and the Negro and addressing the Negro citizenship issue, of course I would first say that.
Do you think there should be limitations on Liberians who have naturalized?
No, there should not be any limitation.
What they can do and hold.
No, there should not be any. There's no reason a natural born limitation. I mean, even in this country and other countries, natural born American, whether you went and you took citizenship in another country. Once you're born an American, you're American. Once you're born a Liberian, you're a Liberian. You know, so this issue to try to marginalize Liberians who left the country and took citizenship, elsewhere, and they're now back. The country is safe and stable and peaceful, and they want to come back and contribute their quota to the development of the country. And we try to prevent them from doing that. I think that's foolhardy. I think that is wrong. I think that is bad policy. It needs to change.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Russell. So we'll go to the phone lines. We've got at least 20 minutes. We want to hear from the Liberian people. Everybody spoke, right? Before we go to the phone lines. Everybody had their last round of thoughts before we go to the phone lines and hear Liberian. So the question to my Liberian people is, we've been discussing lengthily. It's not yet a proposal. It's not even before for any consideration. The former president just, spoke about that. Others have said, why now? Why didn't she do it when she was president for 12 years? Why put this out now? And you've listened to
didn't she try to do that? She said that she tried to push that through and it failed.
Yeah,
it's not that she didn't try to do that. Look, Diamond, if
she had the authority and removed 2 speakers. 2. If former President Sirleaf was intentional about that, we would have seen much more of a fight.
Well, I agree. Considering the imperial nature of our presidency, I agree. No, I agree. I agree with you in considering the imperial nature of our presidency. But I just wanted to say I've read something where she wrote that she tried to advance this policy position to help to amend this, and it didn't pass. But look, Diamond, I don't know if you read some of the reports from the Carter Center and many international bodies. They've all talked about this nationality clause, this non-Negro provision in our Constitution. Even Jimmy Carter spoke about it.
All right.
So, I mean, this is something that we need to address. We need to start having this conversation. I know we need to educate the population. We need to do a lot of things. I'm not saying that it will happen now or tomorrow or 2029, but the conversation needs to start taking place. We cannot keep burying our heads in the sand and act like these people don't exist. Many of them being there over 50 plus years.
Let me get 10 seconds. They fight for 10 seconds. The fight for that non-Negro thing started with Bronsky highlighting the issue when you were and Charles Taylor openly disagreed with him, and that brought a rift between he and Charles Taylor. I was part of the UNESCO study for non-Negro citizenship in 2006, and they sent me to Bond County. They sent several other people to different counties, and we went to villages. And those who never do the kind of study, when they're talking about it, they take it lightly. If you went to a village in Bella or Chimpa, or you go to Foucault, or you go to the other places where we went, if you tell the people, say, whether it is good for white people to get a chance so they can be citizens, to help us to build our country, the people be knocking their foot at it. We don't want that. Because our people, they think that happened to themselves, to their children, the attitude of the people who we saw, and we call them white people, but they are not white people. They are selfish. They are greedy. They are mean.
That's why I said education. That's why I said I agree with you. We have to educate the national conversation.
Can you give me like 10 seconds, like Gibson? Let me just throw something in.
10 seconds to have to go to the full lines, because if I dish out 10 seconds to everybody who pass our threshold.
No, for educational purpose, 10 seconds. Yeah. Okay, go to the phone line. Go to the phone line.
All right, let me give you the 10 seconds and then we can go to the phone lines. Liberians are already calling. So
what Mr. Gibson just said.
Maybe to watch a brief, and your wife was even tempting me to watch.
So what Mr. Gibson just said, right? Can you imagine our indigenous people got to be citizens of their own country, the land they were born in, the land they grew up in, between 1904 to 1912. They were not even part of the political system. That Tottenham allowed them, the tribal men, to be part of the political system in the 1940s. So at this point, when these people hear the way they're being marginalized, the children have no opportunity
Let me get
for
10 seconds
education.
quickly before you go to the line, please. 10 seconds.
The children have no opportunity for education to compete with the settlers' children and all that. Now you're bringing in another group of people who controls the economy, who controls the pocket of the very government to come and be citizen. My brother, I think we head into a wrong direction. I think we should give the people a chance.
Let me get 10 seconds on that real quick, Donald, before you go to the line. Let me get 10 seconds, quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Damon, to that, let me just speak. Let me speak to that issue. What we have to understand, the last speaker just talked about our people being afraid of the settler owning land or white people owning land. We have to understand the issue with Liberian land or having access to the interior were not based solely on the American Liberians or the returnees government. Our people rejected from 1835 up until 1940 when Swakoko, those of us that remember the history of Liberia, opened the land up. And the first meeting was in Kakata. So we shouldn't confuse why Liberia is backward to the extent and want to blame the Congo People Administration. I am willing to call me anytime on the line to have the conversation, and I will give you facts and information where the country is backward. This is not about the way we educate our people. We have the progressives who usurp the functions of every functionality of our Liberian government, giving access to our people, and then we're going to come back and blame the American Liberians for denying our people access to land, denying them education. Our own people from 1835 until 1822 to 1835, Cape Man, the Day, and the Gola fought just for acceptance into Liberia. Let's see with all of the chiefs. So what are we going with this? Let's have that conversation another time. And I'm ready. I'm available anytime. Give me the call.
Don't bring the Congo argument here because your people suffer, our people are big you.
Don't tell your people the men are bastard make on your people.
We have to stop blaming the people. I am a hardcore bastard man.
The men are bastard man. They don't want to sell land for
We
small
cannot
fish.
blame the
Then you
people
talking
for the
about Congo
inability
people.
of our people to have give them access to the land. It's wrong. We are wrongly accused the Congo people of this land, and today they are lost and left on the pole. And the very corruption, the rampant corruption they were killed for is going on in Liberia. I am ready to have that conversation. Thank you.
055101075.
I am ready. Rampant corruption, you said this was the 1980s, and now it is more.
Into a tribal.
I am ready.
Having this conversation of granting non-Negro.
I'm ready.
It means when you're non-Negro, it means you either white, you brown, you green, but you're not black. You don't get black blood. Yeah, non-Negro. It could be Caucasian white, it could be Indian brown, it could be, Pakistani red and all that kind of stuff. But you're not black. 077771075, 055101075, and we have the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is active. But those of you watching and listening, you can call on this WhatsApp number. Let's start with this first person here. 1 minute per caller, quickly. Hello.
Good morning,
Chief. Which part of Liberia here?
Calling from Pinsley, SC Cooper.
A morning on your son.
A
morning to your son.
You say what?
You said good morning. Now I ask you every morning to Pinsville.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Go ahead. What's on your mind? What's your take on this conversation?
That conversation there. That if people leave to their own land, they go from Europe, they from where, that is there, they will leave here for us. That's all I get to say.
So it's not happening in Liberia, like what you saying?
It's nothing good for us.
Thank you. All right, let's take this next person here quickly. Hello, let's hear you out.
Hello, this is RM Famula calling from Brownsville.
You're welcome, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I think we need to be very careful when we're discussing something that have no bearing on our development project or process.
What do you mean?
Now what we need to be discussing is our Liberian brother down there, they should get equal right here. Period. There are some white people, they have no home. The jail won't come and island somewhere, they will be there and start pushing all the black people away until they take their land. That's their intention. And they have connection with them. Those are pushing that idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take this next person here quickly. Hello, you live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello.
You live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Roger calling from brother.
Mm.
Yeah. The only people I get from where they were near and Indian. Really, they were not getting out to work to the system. Our brother and Tafro, they can come. I don't have a problem with them.
So you now want people who are not blacks, nor Negroes, to be granted citizenship in Liberia. Or
you know, Lebanese and Indian because we can see and can use them.
Also, you want for only Lebanese and Indians to be excluded by the other people, then white people, people from Germany, Italy, and the rest of them are to that.
No, they don't know what we're doing. Really, one that I've been working with, I have tried two people right with not.
All right.
Two, yeah, the Indian Lebanese.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's go to the WhatsApp line quickly. This person here, you live? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for accepting my call. My name is Richard Nati. I'm from Bonkonde, Saladense. I currently reside at Rafi Highway, shopping town. Now, I want to draw the platform. Hello?
You live. Go ahead, sir. Just speak to me in real time. What you're listening to is a bit delayed.
Okay. So I want to draw the partner attention to three things. One, does Liberia honor dual citizenship? Yes. Liberia honor dual citizenship. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. You live. Just speak to me as if we're having a WhatsApp conversation, because if you want to listen to the show, it's delayed and it will waste the time.
Okay. So yeah. So Liberia does honor dual citizenship. The second one is, do we have any situation where an American citizen or any other, because if you are dual citizen, that means you own a citizenship to another country. That would make you dual citizen. Does Liberia honor that? Yes. And that citizen is not a second-class citizen. That's not what the law says. The law says it's not a second-class citizen. The third one is, if you want to hold any elected position, you got to renounce your citizenship to the other nation, to the other country. Then you become Liberian and only Liberian.
Thank you.
Now, you can be allowed to vote, to be president, or whatever.
All right, sir.
What I want to draw the partner attention to is we have to work harder, both the Liberian in the diaspora, in America especially, and the Liberian here, especially the executive and all branches of government, to really open the corridor for our citizens from America, from the diaspora, to come and help us rebuild this nation.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, but we have to take orders. We give you a lengthy time. Let's take this person. Hello, you live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, go ahead. Should we be granting white people, those who not black people, citizenship in our country?
Absolutely, from my point of view, I said no.
Why?
The reason is simple. We, the Liberians, we are very lazy when it comes to any other thing. Because when we allow those people to come, they had that economy, they will use all like a tools. For example, when we go to Martin, or people, our own resources, people are setting us to add up property and they're benefiting. We, the labor that there, they are suffering.
All right, sir.
Tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take this next person. Hello, you live. Go ahead. What's your take on the topic on our discussion?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Damo. Yeah, for me, I would love for you to be part of. I would love for them to be part of. I hear my brother say that it's a good activity, so we can be able to do sooner. Will be denying other people. You want to live for you, go to another in your country, and you don't want to accept other people to come to your country.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you're saying reciprocate. Hello, you live on the WhatsApp line. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you for allowing me the time to participate. Again, hello to my senior man, Jerome, your CDC brother here. However, I feel like the law is just racist, and I think they need to update the law. But I'm so concerned because there are so many things. There are so many things that need to be addressed. Why this particular one?
All right. So the quick question is: you think we should amend Article 27B, but we shouldn't do it now, as there are other pressing things ahead of us? Is that what you're saying?
There are more important things that we need to address.
Okay.
There are more important things that we need to address. There are things there. For example, I will give you an example of what happened to Prophet Keith. I think the House of Representatives needed to add on that and straighten some part of the law, because I feel like the judges, they interpreting the law some kind of way that we are not even getting the clear definition. So,
all right, sir.
What exactly they're saying?
Thank you. Thank you very, very much for calling. Let's come back home quickly. We'll get back to the WhatsApp line, but let's take calls from Liberia as well. Hello, you live. Go ahead, please.
Good evening to network, to the brain people that are listening worldwide.
Pleasant night to you, Lela Brempo, listening to you all around. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. For me, that issue I had to do with Article 27, allowing those Negroes or none of Negroes to go land right in Liberia. Right now, we're not prepared for it. Right now, the people don't have a right in Liberia to own property or land. But see, we're going around Montserrat, around Liberia right now. People cleaning land because they see that the common people don't have the opportunity to defend their own land. Right now, if people the right, and we will not have anything for ourselves here. Those people that call themselves idiot people can overshadow everyone here.
All right, sir.
How the people treating our people right here now? People are working with $30 and other entity around.
Thank you.
Idiot level company around. The people suffering.
Thank you.
So the people they right now to overshadow Liberian people, the common people.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take this person here quickly. Hello, you live. Go ahead. Hello, you live. Go ahead. You live on the line. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Solomon. So I call from District 6.
Go ahead, Solomon.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you for the discussion. For me, and I agree for these people to come here because if they
why you not agree?
They will use cash violence to go around our justice system to take away our land and will become watchmen for them.
All right.
Because
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll come to the WhatsApp number quickly to this person here. You live, please go ahead. You live, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Musco. I'm in New Jersey. I disagree because in Liberia we say the baby ain't born here, the eyeball big. Then we born it, what will happen? The Lebanese and the Indians and Chinese, we are not yet educated enough. We are not nationalistic enough to start allowing non-Negroes to become citizens. We have to be taught. We have to be taught to be nationalistic because right now we're even selling our birthrights to them. They're not even citizens yet. So I disagree now. We shouldn't do that. We need more education.
Thank you, ma'am.
The poverty rate is high.
Thank you.
We need to alleviate that.
Thank you very, very much. All right. So we take 2 more calls and then, gentlemen, we will start to do our closing because we have to go a bit early than what we normally do. So let's take this person here. Hello, you live. Go ahead, please. Yeah, you live. How are you?
Yeah, we want no class claim to come here. Class claim, if they think of class claim to eliminate black men getting land, you must kill out in Kenya. They suffer from it or living in townships or Africa. The white people take the best part of land. You can say, well, you think the people that made the law, our ancestors that made the law, they were stupid. They're not stupid. They know what it means. You can't allow white men to own land in this country. Nobody, greedy people are there, the resources are here, they tell you the man, or they get money to develop like brother white men people and citizens here before buy land before they would develop like you.
All right, thank you, Bob.
No Ku Klux Klan here.
All right, thank you. We'll take this last person here. Hello, your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah,
Yeah, good evening, sir, and good evening to all of the panelists on your program tonight. How are you?
We're good. Please make your point, sir.
My name, as usual, remains Kedwan Lega Onkpaklo Ashawe Bosan, and I'm joining you from 540 tonight. So the first thing about Negro descent or non-Negro descent having citizenship right in this country, it comes with a lot of factors that need to be understood. So, for example, Liberians need to be taught through public awareness what will the naturalization or citizenship of those who are non-Negro descent bring to the table, and two, how will that contribute or what will it translate into for the benefit of the country?
All right, sir.
So besides that, to conclude quickly, we need to also understand that it has a lot of implication when it comes to the rise of the economy as per the budget in Africa.
All right, sir.
So we need to understand that very well before we go to that aspect and
Thank you.
decide whether or not we want it.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So that's views sampling there of the Liberian populace here on the show as per their own take on Article 27B and the conversations surrounding amending Article 27B so as to allow people of non-Negro descent to be citizens of Liberia. As for now, it's enshrined and entrenched in the Constitution that only people of Negro descent may be citizens of the Republic of Liberia. All right, so we'll wrap up now, gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of the program. It's been a wonderful conversation, and I do know this conversation is not going away anytime soon. We'll continue to have it, plus other conversations that affect Liberians in the diaspora as well. The issue of full citizenship with no restrictions, the issue of voting rights was recently talked about. You know, we need to have conversations surrounding that as well. But we'll start as we began. The councilman was the first on the show, so he will give us his closing first, and we'll do it in such an order. Yes, councilman, your closing on this whole matter and your appearance on the show tonight. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you very much for allowing us to appear here and discuss this important issue. But I want to express my gratitude to our fellow Liberians that call in support of restoration of our constitutional rights. Those of us who have led the country for some years. And that is a great takeaway that I'm experiencing from this conversation. I'm glad that we have come together to understand that this is not a right time. There's a possibility that it can happen, but there are several things that need to be done in Liberia before we can move forward with this discussion. And quickly, as I end, the things that we have to take care of, let us do what Liberians can do themselves. Control our resources, minimize corruption, take care of infrastructure development, develop our youth academically. Let us prepare our population before we bring in those that are superior by nature of the color of their skin or the prestige they carry over our people. So I'm glad that we are going to table this thing until we develop our people, but I'm open at any time to come and expound on this issue to create more education for our people. Thank you very much. And thank you to my colleagues, especially Dr. George. Thank you for your advice and everything.
A new best friend there. A new best friend. After the show, you guys will connect.
No, we'll talk off the line.
Dr. George, yes, you're closing, sir, on this whole matter.
Yes, good evening to our listener. Thank you all for being with us for the past almost 3 hours now. Thank you, Councilman, the Reverend Backley. Thank you, Wilton Cater and Reese for joining us. Diamond, thank you for leading the show. And Gibson, good to see you again. But as you listen to us this evening, you hear this thought-provoking argument, an argument about whether we should give people of non-Negro descent citizenship in Liberia. That's an argument that we need to have. We have been a country for over 178 years, but when you go back to our history, since the beginning, our entire constitution was built on class system, stratification, and other things over the years. And we have struggled with it. Liberian citizens that were not of the settlement age did not get the right to vote in the 1940s. Women did not start voting until the unification law was passed on Tottenham. And so our integration into our country took place quite recently. And these have come with scars, the scars of the 1980s, the scars of the civil crisis. So this conversation starting now, as much as it is important, it brings back old memory and old scars that many of us have lived through. So therefore, it's a conversation we should have, we must have. But it's a conversation that we should also not take into isolation. Our population have to be strong before we think about other population outside. And this is how we can make our population strong. The government of the Republic of Liberia should implement the laws that are currently on the books. Laws including businesses that are should solely be owned by Liberians. Laws including investing in Liberians so that they too can invest in the country. We should stop giving contracts, a lot of contract, 320 million contract to a several company when Liberian companies could do the same work. When we start to correct these things, then we can start thinking about adding additional people to our community and our society. But until we Liberians are still struggling to live in our country, still struggling to benefit from the fruit of our country, bringing somebody from outside who is not part of the constitutional arrangement I say in Article 27 will become a long case of conversation that we'll continue to have, and there will continue to be some form of bitterness. So as you go to bed tonight, remember that Liberia come first, and look forward to this conversation tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. George. We move on to you, Mr. Ketter, because Gibson Jerry is a regular on the show, so we'll take you, Mr. Ketter, and we'll take Mr. Greaves, and Mr. Jerry will close us up. What's your conclusion on this matter as you wrap up tonight?
Thank you, Diamond. Thank you, Diamond. Like I said before, you're one of the favorite, the best, in my opinion, in recent history in our country for journalism. And I appreciate you and I admire you. So with that being said, I would just like to leave our people with this message. We have to put our house in order first. We have to make sure that our people get equal share of the pie of Liberia. We have to strengthen our law and enforce our law, making sure that all Liberians benefit before we bring other people on board. If we do not do that, we are heading for disaster. And Diamond, like the Honorable Reverend James Barclay said, we appreciate if Spoon would give Yola the opportunity to come on this great platform to explain to the Liberian people in the diaspora and in Liberia as to what Yola is doing or has been doing. I heard my brother Russell making reference to Mr. Wetty for dual citizenship. Dual citizenship was sponsored, the advocacy, everything was done through Yola. Mr. Wetty was just a vessel used by Yola to go and advocate on behalf of Liberians in the diaspora. And so people tend to give one person credit and leave the organization to make the organization that is not existing. This organization is also advocating for voter rights in the diaspora, for Liberians in the diaspora to have voter rights. And so we are appealing to Spoon to give us the opportunity. We have capable men and women in Yola on the national level, the national presidents, the national administration that can come here. People from the board can come here and articulate our mission for Liberian people and for people Liberian at large. And I don't want Liberian people to forget that Yola has been in the vanguard advocating for citizenship, for a green card, and for other rights for Liberians in this America. So we just want the Liberian people to know that Yola is not sitting there doing nothing. We are
Thank you, Mr.
working. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Grease, your closing comment.
So, Dama, thank you for the evening and thank you for having me on the show tonight. So, though the sampling size was very small, but what I gathered tonight, you have 5 agreed, 5 disagreed to discuss the Article 27B, 4 agreed to discuss Article 27B, and 2 of those were asking for more information and education. So that simply tells us that Liberians are ready to engage on this matter. You know, I did a very quick analysis when the calls were going on. Those are Liberians that are living in there. In as much as they have fear, or I can tell them, those of you listening to me right now, I am part of you. Born and raised in Liberia from Grand Bassa County, born in Tottenham. We should not be afraid of what will bring benefit to our people. But let me leave this with you. Right now, the land in Liberia, who are taking the land? Isn't it our government official or are those people non-Negro? They are not. So if they're taking the land and just amass those land and keep it for themselves, and our people not benefiting, let us. It's never wrong to look outside of the box and see what is there. I want to encourage us. Let us welcome the idea, not because President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf appeared at the House, but it is an issue that Liberia must passionately discuss. If we really intend to lift our people out of poverty, we need to take the approach of addressing Article 27B, so that way others can have the opportunity to bring investment, bring hospital, bring rules to help our people. Let me close on this. Like my 2 fellow board members, we are 3 from Eula Board. This tells you that we have divergence of opinion. The diversity on Eula is so high. So I want Diamond, you and this show to remember that Eula has been in the business of advocating for Liberians in the diaspora. We are the umbrella organization, and we will not give that role to anybody else. But Eula will continue to be the voice, and we will be always willing to come here and address issues of national concern. It is we are having the discourse to move our country forward. We are not against anybody owning land, but want to move Liberia forward from where we are, from this stalemate to a noble height. I close on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Greaves. Mr. Jerry, you've got the last word before I wrap up tonight.
And please don't talk about you watching Lebanon brief.
Look, that thing heavy in Greaves. Don't. And the thing is, I go watch a thing, I see something else like that. Why I help me more.
But that your choice.
Those were not choices. Those were hard times. That sometimes you don't have choice. You just got to do it. You either die or you live. You know. Right now I get choice. I can make a decision now whether I want to work for a Lebanese man in the house or not to work for a Lebanese man in the house. And Greaves, I don't want you to bring conquer people argument here. I don't know what you say.
I'm ready to have it.
I know you say Bassa man. What kind of Bassa man get Greaves name? All Greaves are
please do your closing
so that I don't know Congo argument because we finish with the Congo thing here. We put it behind.
No, it's still here. I'm bringing the 2-week party back.
Nothing to us. No. What we need to do now is to just forge the Liberian, the Liberian spirit instead of what I Congo do bad or Congo do bad. But let me just say this. Let me give you an example. Just in the closing. Recently, the yellow machine was bid for. And at the end of the bid, they put out, I think, five companies. I think 2 of the companies were Liberian owned, or 1 of the companies were Liberian owned. At the end of the day, our government, central government, took the contract and gave it to a Chinese. And they did not even tell the Chinese company, we Liberian. give 10% of the contract to Liberian to own to do it, so that our Liberian company will learn how to do this kind of thing. They give to a foreign company. There are five major roads that should be done in the West Coast around Cape Mount area. A Sierra was given that contract. Our Liberian government and our Liberian policy makers, they have not come to the realization that the decisions they make affect the very life of the people they want to lead. So when you talk about non-Negro becoming citizen, when you talk about non-Negro becoming citizen, there are too many things you put in there. Because as a citizen now, they are not citizen. They can argue with you and post slap in your ear, and the policeman say, policeman stay arrest you because they post slap in your ear.
Enforce your laws.
Imagine if they are citizen. Imagine if they are citizen. And they'll be telling you, you citizen are citizen. You can't do nothing. They both get the money, you not get the money. They can't buy your land. You go to land commission there, change all the documents. You go talk for nothing. Nothing will happen to come out. You get money to go to court. They get all the lawyers in town. You know that all the lawyers, you know why they do that? So you know who don't deal with lawyer business, you go try it. They get those lawyers, then they get a contract. You go there. I think call the person and say that conflict of interest. I can't take case against the man. Leonipo and the Inipo, that what they are doing in Liberia now, they will get a major law firm, then they get a contract. You know, do something, go there and go to the lawyer, they say, no, in my own contract, I cannot take case against this person. So the people already, they are very abusive of the power they have. They don't even care about you. They can't talk about you more getting citizenship. Look, let's do that like Ghana. Let's get a leasehold. They can have a leasehold. After some time, we tell you, but man, you're not staying on the land. Give land back and go. I'm telling you today, if any discussion about amending the Constitution to give non-Negro citizenship, if I'm not alive, you can go ahead. But when I'm alive, it's not going to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm going to join the people and we will protest it and we'll make sure it doesn't work. We don't hate the people, but the people hate.
You're welcome. Liberian will decide on that.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry. So it's been a wonderful show. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you,
Mr. Brother Gibbs.
Thank you, my dear brother Cherry. Long time, brother.
Thank you, everybody. Now, my take on this is, if you don't strengthen,
and that's a good. Listen, I mean, Diamond, that's a good accolade that was a brother Keto who gave it to you.
Yeah.
I want you to enjoy that. You know, for those of us from Grand Jida, we don't do anything. We don't do it right. Anything you see Grand Jida,
you indicted Diamond now. Never refuse that indictment.
Let me just close on this. People immigrate to countries for two reasons. It's either a push or a pull. And many of the Liberians who travel overseas were pushed to travel overseas.
Exactly.
And many of the foreigners that are coming to Liberia are pulled to Liberia because of opportunities they feel abound in our country. There are some of them who are stateless and here for immigration and refugee statuses, but they do not make up the number of those who see our country as an opportunity to get rich. So they come here, they open their businesses, they give them loans, and they become the masters. We should be controlling how people come into our country to do business. We should be the ones protecting the rights of our citizens. To say, look, before you open a business, it should be 50% Liberian in managerial roles and enforce these things. That's what will give our citizens economic power.
That's the limitation we were referring to earlier.
But we do not have those. Even though the laws are there, they are not implemented. So the citizenry is weak. That fear of being overrun is what has got Liberians not looking in our direction. A Liberian can immigrate to America and become economically sound. It wouldn't bother the majority of the American populace because they also are economically sound. Can that translate to Liberia? No. So as of this time, it's a scary thing. Now, one would say, imagine a man is not a citizen, he can own the best parts of our country because he's got the financial might to do so. When he or she is, where is an entitlement, is their right to own, what becomes of those who cannot afford? The man will say, I'm a Liberian as you are. So let's put our house in order, strengthen our mechanisms, improve our people's lives, empower them, and see where we can start having the next conversation from. But for now, until those things are put in place, you go out there referendum-wise, even opinion sampling, you walk from here all the way to Cape Palmas and come back. Majority of Liberians will say no. They wouldn't. There are great countries in this world that are not immigration countries, like China. China is not an immigration country. No matter how long you stay there, you can never be a Chinese. In fact, they make it clear that before you open a business, it should have Chinese partnership. I went to eat eba to a place that is meant to be a Nigerian place. You know who was serving? Chinese people were serving, but it is a Nigerian joint. They protect the rights of their citizens. Until we can learn that as a country, when we turn and say, oh, Ghana does the same. They protect the rights of their citizens. It's mostly BTO, build, train, and transfer, build, operate, and transfer, BOT. People build things and they turn it over. Ghanaians migrate from the lower levels to the higher levels. If we want to see a Liberian middle class, that's what we need to do. And once we can compete, we will say, yes, we don't mind. Because if John is from Pakistan and he becomes a Liberian, he's not going to encroach on my rights because I too have everything, to be able to compete with him on equal levels. We are not. Thank you, folks. Thank you for being on. And as you said, Mr. Keto, we will give Eula the chance. You all are from Eula. So that means Eula is welcome on the program. Sometimes we need to digress from the politics and talk about welfare situations, things that affect Liberians home and abroad. It will be good. So we as a station, I'm speaking to you as a manager, we opened, and Eula can come on and let us know what their platforms are as well. We open to that. Thank you for being on the program. Have for yourselves a wonderful Liberia. Have for yourselves a wonderful.
And you all good night, everybody.
I'm gonna reach out to you on Facebook so we can connect. Okay.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
George will talk.
All right, Dr. George. Thank you. Good night. Your new
George.
guest is the council meeting, so you can go connect.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we gotta talk, my brother. I will need your number so we can talk. We need to hang head.
Okay. You got text Diamond. You're good to you.
All right, so
George, I like your closing.
Let me just put it in the private chat. My
all right.
Number, we can all converse from there.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So that is my number there in the private chat, so you can definitely see it. All right, folks, have for yourselves a wonderful time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Spoon Talk comes your way on tomorrow with a whole lot of talking points as well. Until we talk again, good night from Liberia. Wonderful day to you, wherever it is you're watching us from. Bye-bye.
Thank you.